Right, let's test some audio, guys, because as we know, recently the OBS, the Skype, the combination has been messing up our audio. So I'm going to talk for a little bit, Stuart, and then you can say hi, and let's see how our audio sound, because on my board you're -94 and I'm -1, and that's ridiculous. So let's see. Over to you, Stuart.
Maps and legends. I got the legends part of this episode. I don't understand the maps part, but that's okay. Don't hang up. Exactly, Andrew. So how am I sounding, Samuel? I can't hear you at all, Samuel.
Sorry. For this one, now your -94 was actually -94 and you were completely silent, so I just raised. Yep, no, fine. So, bloody lie, Skype lies.
Anyways, I'm back. So as I was saying, guys, welcome. We're going to be talking about episode 2 of Picard. And this one's called Maps and Legends. I got the legends part out of it, but I didn't understand the maps part. It was kind of a weird title.
I've just rewatched it. There ain't no map.
Right?
Yeah, I just rewatched it. Took 4 sides of notes. You can see one note. It's 3D printer unhappy face. But we'll get into it. And guys, do check out. We've already released our 2 pre-reviews, the ones that nicely edited with all the graphics, like easy to watch. Because this is obviously the live show version. 4 hours ago, this was a free review, which is only 5 minutes, but a nice clean if you want to know. And then the full review, 26 minutes, longer than last week. A lot of images. Check that out as well, and that's great because it really condenses our thoughts, our views, and we often miss our own topics because there's so much we could talk about, and then yeah.
Well,
hi, Stuart.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
I've already seen you enough today. Shut up. 77 of you here watching. Thank you very much for joining us. As you guys know, though, super chats are important. This is Samuel's cue to go share things.
Well, okay then. I'll take the non-hint, but the blatant say.
Anyway, so if you guys want to super chat, put your questions in, your comments, your theories, whatever you want to talk about with this one. We'll have to read it out. We'll have to, it comes out nice and pretty, like David Bessick just showed us. It comes in nice and green and looks beautiful. And or different colors, we prefer the reds and the yellows and the oranges, understandably. But yeah, if you want to help us out that way, you can. Or also head on over to Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, PayPal is a great way to help us as well. Even just any of the links down below. There's links to merchandise. There's links to ways to save yourself some money on Eagle Moss stuff. So lots of great ways that all help out the channel and help yourself out as well. So I just burped. That's awesome. So thank you guys. 100 of you here now. Everybody hit like. And hitting like's important, and just engaging in the chat and stuff. We'll try to read some of the stuff from the chat, but generally super chats are the best way to do that. And it does, as I always say, helps us out. Is Brent Spiner going to voice every android in the galaxy? No, probably not. BigZebra.com. I thought calling the Android F8, aka Fate, was a bit too on the nose. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I saw that right away. As soon as I saw him getting ready to do something, I was like, F8, Fate, really? That's what they're going with? Fate? It works. So Nimble Fox says, I hear an echo.
Yeah, sorry about that, but it's fine now.
Yes, we got a super chat already from David Bessig, $5.
David.
Thank you, David. FYI, just so you guys know, I did not see anything posted on YouTube about the live or telling me you were live. Maybe just check everything is okay. It's YouTube for you. Everybody will get a notification in 5 hours once it's done.
Put it this way, if it genuinely told all subscribers we were live, we'd have 5,000 people here.
Hopefully, yeah.
But it doesn't. So it's kind of like, that's why the longer we go, the more people kind of find us. It'll tell whoever it tells, but things are always at the same time, and people know on Fridays. So, I mean, hopefully people are just going to check in and say, oh my god, they are live. How long have we missed? Oh my god, I missed an hour. But it's fine, because we watch and repeat.
And Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $1.99, 50 likes already. Yes, again at 100. Hashtag make me pay. Dun, dun, dun. BigZebra.com. Trekyards, given what we know about humanity, wouldn't the first androids manufactured would be sex bots rather than work assistants? Yes, indeed they would. I think that's the case. All right, so we'll just start into it. I gotta say, I like the beginning, getting the shot of the fleet. Zooming down to Utopia Planitia, we get that 14 years earlier thing, and we kind of find out exactly what happened, because we've been kind of wondering how the synths attacked, and it was from the inside. They turned the orbital defense platforms against the planet, which is a devastating way to do it. There should be fail-safes against that kind of thing, but hey,
they overrode them, because they're like data. But Stuart, so what is your overall review, spoiler-filled, of this episode?
Oh, we gotta do that.
So you gotta
shit
start
again.
from the beginning, because they don't know, Stuart. You jump right in. We're not there yet, Stuart, because you guys got a super chat and tell us what you think, and we're there first.
It was good. Not as good as episode 1, in my opinion, personally. A little bit too intriguey and spy-like and whatever. Not really my cup of tea, but it was well written. There were some good scenes, and I really enjoyed the pacing. It was a little bit fast of an episode, a little bit quick.
Compared to last week, though?
Well, it's a shorter episode this week.
By like a minute or two. I mean,
it felt shorter though. Like it didn't feel as much happened. In my opinion.
Slower pace though than last week. I don't know.
Yes and no.
Different sorts of pace, yeah.
Yeah. And I love the fast-paced reveals, though. I hate that when they drag stuff over like a couple episodes when you kind of can see it coming. So I appreciate the turn on a dime reveals, which was great. Let's just get right into it.
Well, it also helps you to enjoy the journey, because if we know more than the people inside the show who they're going to get revealed, then we can then enjoy seeing their motivations. It's like that guy, the Romulan guy that likes Soji. I didn't like him last week because I thought it was just this. But once you know,
Eric.
all of his little reveals, all his dialogue, oh my god, he's really interesting now because you know something about him now.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Yeah. So overall, my general summation is I liked it. I just didn't like it as much as the first episode. So, but yeah, they're on the right track. It's well written, in my opinion. It's a lot different than Discovery for sure. More drama based than action based, which is good.
So you watched the Ready Room then, because that was his analogy there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, calling Discovery and sci-fi action is like why, what? Really? The show called Discovery was about what I mean? That tells you everything you need to know about the initial pitch. Was we're gonna make it a sci-fi action show like JJ. This one's actually we've got to keep it actually like Star Trek because we've got the Star Trek people in it. But yeah, so my thoughts, and then we'll jump to... Well, no, do Super Chats now, because that would be useful.
Oh, yes. Captain Ron Phillips puts in $5. Hey, guys, feels great to be back online to watch the best Trek on the web. Isn't it great that we have an evil Commodore and not an Admiral this time? Yes.
Wow.
Get back to the TOS roots.
I mean, both evil in different ways.
Yeah.
But yes.
Canadian Starships, $2.
Hey, hello.
Who said captains are useless? Just having fun. I said captains are useless, I think, at one point.
I don't get it. Sorry.
I forget what context it was, but everybody's like, go, quick, tell Sam the captains are useless. It was on one of my solo ones. I can't remember what context I used it in, though. Hasso puts in $1.99. Cybernetic racism from workers was over the top.
The problem is they're not a race. They're a Roomba. They're an advanced Roomba. or a Siri. Or a phone, or a forklift. They just put a human face on.
That's what it was. Canadian Starships reminded me. Bridge Commander from the other night. Because we only had 3 people, and we're like, well, we don't need a captain, because captains just basically sit there and just bark orders. We all know our fucking jobs, so captains are useless. And everybody was jumping, saying, "Go tell Sam the captains are useless." So,
I like it. But yeah, let's talk about. But yeah, so my thoughts. And I watched it earlier. I just rewatched it to take notes, because I'm doing, unlike all the other treks, like really focused watch than focused notes watch. And I liked this one more than last week for a number of different reasons. And in fact, in rewatching it, I liked it more. I liked it earlier, like it more than last week. I think this is like a legitimate step above in almost every way, which I really appreciated. Especially for Patrick Stewart's acting, not playing this sad old man that just burns time on screen as a sad man. He has some very good, he has some good moments in this, and he's much more good. The supporting cast are a lot better in this episode. And there's a lot more canon-y textual world stuff that, again, we're not just wasting time just watching him and a dog walk through a vineyard. It's like that works for a small amount of time, but this is a big fleshed out universe, and the biggest difference, I think, was we didn't have 2 mediocre fight scenes. Bad fight scenes. Like, mediocre is, I think, a fair criticism. I would rather have the scene with the Romulan agent, the Vulcan agent, or the Vulcan Commodore talking. That, I'll accept the lens flares, but that scene I'd rather have than a fight scene. And one was much cheaper, much easier, and much better. And that's what this had in droves, was that sort of real Star Trek content. The other one had, like, bits of but it was trying to be. I said to you before, I think that was going to be the worst, for me anyway, the worst of the season. So we're already on an upward track for me. And the intrigue stuff is just part of the big grand story, because it's one big grand story. So everything's the intrigue, Stuart, because A, Romulans, and B, you've got to learn slowly. So if you don't like intrigue stuff, that's going to be the entire season.
Yeah. StarMax puts in $10.
Oh.
Thank you.
What a man.
I wonder if the Klingons took a part of the Romulan Empire in their time of weakness when the Feds reeling from Mars. Maybe even Gorn popping up with this name drop in the episode of the Hegemony. Possibly.
But I can see that they just fought together in the Dominion War. Is it really worth making another enemy? I can see everyone kind of being like, no, we just had wars. Let's not do that. I agree with, sort of. I think we're past the era of that. TMP, yes. Early TNG, yes. But I think this is meant to be an era of more peace. So just to have that again. Well, certainly Martok wouldn't. And Worf wouldn't. I don't think Gowron would, weirdly. Not at this point anyway, if he was still alive.
Yeah. The Trembler throws in $5. It's a great name. I like that the synths didn't seem mentally like Data. They were more like B4, not sentient, so not slaves, though pushing it. Also swearing.
Yeah. I guess people are going to want to know, Stuart, swearing, yay or nay, for this episode? Was it a good thing or a bad thing?
It was a good thing in one instance, and a bad thing in the other.
This is why they invented frack and smeg. If you really want to have swearing, invent a new word. If you really want to, yeah, and certainly, the synths. I think the chap played the synths basically perfect. I have nothing but positive to say about his performance. Just the right level of what I needed to see for it to make sense to me.
And I Am Not a Nugget says Picard said shit in the first season of TNG. Yes, he did, but in French, merde.
So, and that was also weird and odd, but also they didn't do it again. So that was an experimentative season. But it wasn't French, so most Americans didn't know. And that's okay.
So, yeah. Let's start talking about it.
Okay, let's go. 240. Hopefully we'll get over 400 people. Slowly build up. Yes. Well, why is that important, Stuart?
Because it's important. It helps YouTube's algorithms and us. So hit like. Shows us that you love us.
But speaking of love, I think we both like these new ships more from the first scene.
Yep, absolutely.
This is why seeing ships from multiple angles, although they're mostly the same angle, but you still get some nuances of them. Yeah, pretty good. Not. I mean, they're certainly in the lower half of ship designs. It's not as if they're like great. You know what I mean? But like, they're not bottom of the barrel. They're fine. They're good. They're decent. But I think we're sort of spoiled with, if they're not Discovery looking, and Discovery wrong, then we give them praise. I mean, they're okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're a solid, C?
Oh, yeah.
So, but they're not Discovery, and they're not Discovery era. They don't feel like Discovery, and that suddenly jumps into a B+. And it's like, you know what I mean? But it's a good opener. Good opener.
Yes.
When it pans down to the planet, although it's weird it's meant to be such a big scale of production, but we only see 3 zones and also no dry docks. Like Planitia, I always assumed was more dry dock based than planet based because gravity sucks a building.
Yeah.
And it was weird not to see dry docks because that's how you build. Like, it feels very like they didn't quite understand what Planitia was. It's like you build ships in space.
That's just one of the things. There's different clusters of these around.
I know, but I'm just saying the shot feels like it's like I'm asking more questions because it would have been nice to have seen a few dry docks just in the side, like just the side, But yeah, you're right. This is presumably the holding pattern place, not the actual building pattern place, which is fine. I'm just commenting.
But later when they turn the defense things, you see the holding pattern around Mars. It's like a ring of ships around Mars. You can't really catch it unless you kind of still frame it, but. Joseph Petrick puts in €2. Picard is great, but what is brown and sticky? Stick.
Yeah, and I did not get it at all. And then you had to explain it to me because I did no idea.
Yeah. Eugene, 750 rubles. Good to see you, Eugene.
Welcome.
I cannot choose between Meanwhile at Protheon Dig Site and Utopia Planitia. Was an inside job, so I'll go with both, I guess.
Protheans from Mass Effect and inside job obviously is that's good. I like that. And yes, things are built on the planet, but they're actually assembled in orbit because gravity. It's just easier and simpler. It's basically they're just factories and then they're units. But yeah, you get introduced to the robots, the androids. I like the content. I like him saying, "Hey guys, morning, plastic people."
Yeah.
Hello, you.
He wasn't being an asshole either. He was being friendly. Just, hey, plastic people.
If anything, he's been more friendly than he needs to be. Because they are just machines. They are just tools. I think he's got to the point where he just finds this kind of like, he's making friends with inanimate objects, basically. It's like, he's just a nice chap. So, I thought this was totally on point. This bit, anyway.
Yeah. Fleet Pass Whipback puts in $1.99. 109 likes. Yes, again at 150. Hashtag Picard Like Spike. 260 of you here. Everybody hit that like button. Let's get the likes up. And Eugene, another 250 rubles. By the way, Utopia Planitia, nowhere land plane is an actual location on Mars surface.
Cool.
Nice. All right, so we get some new shuttles, which is great, but we'll talk about those.
Well, we have an episode
more
on
in detail. Exactly, they're coming out soon.
That's coming out on Saturday evening at 5 p.m. GMT. So already filmed. Not edited or anything, but put together. Yeah, good. They get solid B from me. Solid B. Nothing particularly special, but they fit. And boy, there should have been the ships that were flying around everywhere.
I'd give them an A- because I like them.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've just designed them and just add more details and stuff, like a bit more thought in them. Because John did them as a rough sketch, like,
Yeah.
Anyway, now I have a comment about this interior. We talked about it earlier, but I have a positive to counterbalance that. So we're now on Mars. Cool. Starfleet facility. Cool. Build ships. Great. But do they have to go so on the nose by having on the red planet, which is not actually red because that's just the thing that NASA... It's not actually red, but on the red planet, they need to have red jumpsuits, red helmets, and red walls and ceilings.
And red blood.
Well, they can't avoid that. I mean, it's very. It feels like they think they're being clever art design, but it actually doesn't really work. I said to you in the chat, it should have been like red lines on the beams, and then the rest of it be silver. Or if you want to have red, have windows and show, or like screens showing build in process with visuals of the. But something about this just feels like either very Discovery or very. Like a read of a set. I mean, probably just a read of a set, to be fair. That would probably make sense. Just a redress of something else that just painted red. It just doesn't quite, just wouldn't be what I would do art design-wise.
StarMax puts in $2. Those ships based on the flyer from Insurrection.
No.
No. Watch our video about it on Saturday. We show you what. Yeah.
But a derivative of the thing from Nemesis is what you mean.
And Michael Callahan puts in $2.99 Australian, just showing support for the channel. Thank you very much, Michael. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Michael. Thumbs up to you too. We show support for your support.
Captain Ron Phillips, $2. Said this last week. Don't shuttles look like JJ? No.
Well, yes and no.
They look similar. They're both designed by John, but the JJ ones have the same basic shape.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a shuttle. Most shuttles have the same basic shape.
I mean,
so
John did 4 shuttles for JJ, and yes, one of them is very similar, but in a raw way, not a details way. And also, you missed Zaraxis.
Oh, Zaraxis, $5. Love the bit where the workers complain about the replicator style and lament about wanting the old one back. Good way to explain the difference, even though it's a 3D printer.
I mean, that's not exactly what happened, but we'll get into that in a second. So the robot chap comes in, and your pet favourite thing...
Jars, yeah. $2 Canadian, sorry.
Also favourite person.
At least all the workers weren't redheads. Hey, I would have preferred that.
It's true.
Especially if there's lots of ladies. Anyway, yes. So the worker comes in, F8. Fate. Dun, dun, dun.
And Stuart, there is no fate. F8, what we make for ourselves. Da-dum.
Because he's a synth and people made him. That's a funny. Jeff said a funny earlier in the chat before we even started. He said B4 became F8 until he went all T2. Yeah. But yeah, this is first contact day. Let's not forget that. Every other station in the yard has it off. These guys don't. So they're complaining about that. And then they come in and... So what'd you get up to last night? F8? And he's... What did he say? I can't remember.
Like it rocked or...
No. Anyway.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's what he ends up saying. Because, yeah. Or did you get into trouble last night at F8? Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, what did you do? Nothing. Okay.
I guess that's not a joke. It's just he doesn't know how to respond. So it shows that he's like, I can respond to small talk, but not with reality because I didn't do anything, and therefore my experiences are just going to work, then standing in a box, and going back to work, standing in a box. So these are very much just mindless. Like I said in the review, I appreciated that they did not give them a visible sense of identity. We gave them identity because he's a new character to us. But, I mean, rewatching it again, it's very, like, clinical in how he's doing it. It's like, I'm reacting, but there's nothing behind the hood. And that helps me, it helps the way I vibed it. And it makes it even more special. Like, they could crack the walk and talk like a robot, but not be a person. Not be an entity. Not actually have anything sentient. Which was cool, actually. We get a good shot of the L-cars. All blue and boxy.
And cluttered and crappy.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly not been designed. It's been put together.
Yeah, it looks like somebody with really bad Photoshop skills just threw a bunch of L-cars together. I mean, this is a production facility, so maybe it's supposed to look like that, like machinery, things. I still need to see one on a Starfleet vessel before I'll make a final decision on the L-cars design. So...
It's like I'm looking at some graphs, and there's looks to be several graphs, but they don't stand out at all. And it's like, this is a mess of information. Yeah, again, this was photoshopped, like I said, not designed. Whereas Okuda's, it's like neatly laid out, and everything's understandable and simple, and he's like, boop.
And better colors, too.
Yeah.
Brian Delaney puts in $12.
Oh,
Thank you.
Odd number, but brilliant, thank you.
The only thing in this episode I found not credible was the way that Starfleet CNC was written. It felt very unrealistic to me. Yes. Well, we'll get there when we get there. But
that was definitely one of my lower points, even though I enjoyed the scene.
It felt realistic for today's...
Which is the problem.
Vernacular. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this show is trying to find an identity which isn't organic. And that's an interesting... It's interesting to see how they go further. Yeah, but yes. So then they say, so he walks out, and I did one of the joke line. I love the grin, and again he knows how to react, sort of, but also not at all. It's fun.
Yeah, and then he walks out, and she's like, "Those things creep me out." It's like, quiet. It's all right. They're not people. We can't offend them.
But he can hear you. Yeah, and it does feel a bit odd, but as I said to you in one of our sub videos, he's basically just a Roomba, and if you were saying, "Oh, effing Roomba," no one's gonna say to you, "Oh, stop being racist against Roombas." You know what I mean? Data's different. Holograms, to some extent, are different if they've got personalities. Or it's like Siri, and you've sworn at Siri many times on lives, and she accidentally says, she thinks you say something, and you say, "Oh, shut up." "Oh, Stuart, don't be rude to Siri." It's like, no, that's not the way this robot was played. Not a person is a tool with a human face. Not sure why, but that's just thing. So I wasn't against it per se, especially since they're obviously quite new, and these guys have been building starships for how many years, how many generations, and they could be thinking, I enjoy my job, and these guys come in, they could take all of our jobs, and I just want to do it. What if they're quicker, faster? It's not an ego thing, as much as this is what I do, and here they are doing my, so I can see a few levels there. Plus, she might actually be new here. There aren't androids anywhere else in the galaxy that we know of. So, it's just an offhand comment. I mean, and it's not a race, so.
And speaking of, Alexa, red alert. Just saying.
Is that new?
Alexa's got a red alert. Stop.
Cool.
I don't know. It's something you can do with Alexa.
Wow, perfect.
It says red alert, alarm sounded, ship's deflectors have been activated, and shields have been raised.
That's bad.
Anyway, yeah, and they mentioned something about how they can tear something apart. They're so strong or something in that scene as well. Zeraxis, though, puts in $5. Arumba doesn't have the capacity for self-improvement. Since these androids are based on data, they likely do so and think there's still ethical issues. No, they're not programmed with that level of consciousness or intelligence. Yeah. They're basically just walking forklifts, I guess.
Yeah, you just don't program into them. It's like the same argument for holograms. Well, this hologram that's just a waiter in a background play that has no whatever. Oh, he must be sentient. Well, no, he's just got this much programming, and that's all it is. He looks like a human, doesn't mean you can. So no, that's the thing. These, to get to this point, I think having no hair is also important. It would have been better almost if they didn't have a face. That's kind of harder to do for the actor. Please shave off your face. Why even have humanoid-looking people? Because you want to be able to sympathize with, because what was it that? Oh, it was Law. They said, Law was too human, so they made Data less human, so they wouldn't be as frightened. But why even make a humanoid for this sort of task? Or maybe because all the doors are built for humanoids. So just build it humanoid looking, because then they can open doors, they can use everything. If you're building because a 9-foot tall dude with massive bicep, or a 9-foot dude with 4 arms, it might not be able to go through doors. At that point, it's just a robot. I guess this is just a useful replacement of humans.
307 people here. That is fantastic. Guys, hit that like button, and please chime in with your questions, comments.
Yep.
We got another great shot of the facility and a shuttle flying over again.
Good stuff.
And then, unfortunately, we get the 3D printer, which is literally a 3D printer that has food in it. And then they say a line, I wish they'd go back to using, uno amino matrices for the replicators. And it's like, that's a 3D printer. Why wouldn't you just, make something that doesn't look like a printer that I can go buy, right now?
This was the stupidest art decision they've ever made. This is worse than Discovery glows, Discovery ships, Discovery. This is them saying, look, we can 3D print food, even though we've been able to do that for 100 years. We've always seen Picard on a civilian chateau have a perfectly functional replicator. You can't say to me, they don't bother replacing old tech at the thing that constructs spaceships. They install dozens of replicators a day. They have time to install them on their own places. They're not going to wait 200 years to this. If this is a replica, this is 180, 200, 300 years old. This is ridiculous, and It's lazy. And it even looks like a bloody microwave. It's just pathetic. I hated it. TOS looks more advanced than this, and that's just a hole in the wall. It's so sinful. There's even like labels saying "Don't touch the pipes." It's another thing like Discovery Shot. It's a instantly retcon it out because it's just a full-on mistake. You can't include it as canon. There aren't 3D printing. This is just stupid. And the thing she says about proteins is about how you make the food with the protein turned into matter. Not about the machine itself. It's about the stuff that goes into the machine. It's just pathetic. Really pathetic. And this episode's good. But this is one of those, like, it's pathetic. You dingbats.
But while they're eating, F8 goes he gets the eye thing. So he gets activated from some outside source. And starts taking over the computer systems. And then we get multiple synth labor units have been compromised. And the guy goes up to him, "Hey, stop that!" And he grabs him and snaps his neck, and then keeps. And I actually kind of like how the Elcars. I think they almost project like a little holographic thing because he's like turning a thing, and so there is some kind of advancement there.
I mean, I still saw it as 2D. I know what you mean, but I think it's still confined by the back. It's tricky. I mean, I'm sure that part of the display is like they added that in VFX after, because that would be hard to time. That's why it looks different. But the spinny thing is so Discovery. Like, and I kind of wish there was like actual displays of information rather than just like technical diagrams. It just doesn't mean anything, you know. But it definitely feels like Data in his hackerness, which, you know, it's certainly a callback. And I really like this scene where they're just chilling out and hanging out, and it all goes wrong. Oh dear.
Fleet Pass Switback puts in $1.99. What's with the eyes? F8 did it. Archive did it. Oh. Well, this was to show that like he's been hacked or something, or activated, because this is part of a grander plot. It's not like the synthetics uprose because they felt oppressed or anything. This was like they were used as tools essentially in this attack.
Yeah.
So
I definitely like the eyes thing. It's that really improved the whole synth storyline for me. The idea of them uprising itself didn't feel right to me. I think I expressed that to you before. And so being hacked, simple, easy, efficient, especially with this. I keep thinking they call Bratva because that's an Arrow Russian secret service. And it sounds so similar to the Arakvosh, Jatvash. What's it called? Yeah, Jatvash. So if I call it Bratva, I apologize, but the Russian Bratva, it's just, I know. No, anyway, but I bet they hacked them. It's pretty straightforward A to B to C feeling now. Pretty abrupt. And having really watched this scene, it's even better the second time round. And I think it's. I know that on Ready Room, Will Wheaton asked about the graphic violence, and I thought this was that line where it tells the story well, because they don't dwell on anything. You know, it's not vicious, it's not aggressive, it's clinical. You know, the guy used a weapon like a scalpel. Boom, death point. Boom, death point. Boom, death point. Like, there's nothing extra here. So I like the way this was made. I think this had some decent thought put in. So I'll give him credit for that.
Not a band account puts in $1.99. Michael Burnham could have stopped the synth uprising there.
Stuart, she could have solved it with the sphere data.
Exactly.
So sphere data is everything.
Yeah. And I also want to point out, for F8 instead of Fate, it's also F8 is the safe mode key for your computer.
Yeah, it is.
Sylvia made that observation last night. I'm like, that's funny.
Well, did you notice? Sorry, did you notice something though, that in almost every single shot, the 8 in his F8 is too shiny to read because of his head. In almost every single shot, I was trying to find a good still to try F8, and I just really couldn't find one that was like clean. It was weird.
The Trembler puts in $5. It is silly that the Shinzo computer Burnham argued with seemed more self-aware and sophisticated than these synths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but Discovery's not like visual cannon, so it's fine. Retcon out. Fine.
More than fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, they turn the orbital. Well, yeah, they turn the orbital defense systems against the planet, which would be devastating because those are designed. And if you take a look at the still, you can see all the facilities on Mars all lit up. So there's a lot more than And then we got that ring around the planet of little. I don't know if you can zoom in on it,
Sure.
but it's basically the rescue fleet by the looks of it.
I mean, when they say Armada, they mean it.
Yeah.
Oof. But as we said early on, and this is a bit of a dumb plot point, when the ships are done, just send them. Think how many millions of people you could have saved while the 200 ships that are there and done are waiting for the other 1,000. I can't remotely believe that they're building 10,000 ships at the exact same rate. No, you build them and then finish them and then build them and finish them. So another little logical problem there. It's one of those probably just conceits of, yeah, they just chose to do it this way, otherwise a plot couldn't happen. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not smart, but, plot.
Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $1.99. I'm slacking. 162 likes. Again at 200. Hashtag makes Fleet Pass Swiftback pay. Hashtag like spike. 340 people watching now. So thank you guys for joining us. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. And make sure that if you want to have your voice, if you want us to read your comment or whatever, Super Chats are a great way to help out the channel. And yeah, looking forward to a bunch of new faces. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho.
2 good points, though. Travis Foster, still using solar panels on a planetary defense satellites. Well, Jupiter Station used solar panels because they're not solar panels, they're something else. And the anonymous user says the ships could have been waiting for crews. Yes and no. The Federation is a lot of worlds, and if it's that important, they could get civilians to pilot because you need a pilot. So I don't buy it for a second. There's millions of people that would do this, and skeleton crews could be a dozen. I mean, the Defiant is like 28 people. Yeah. Like, it can be. I mean...
And... Yeah. BigZebra.com says, why do they leave lasers lying around in an office environment? Well, it's not an office environment. It's a work environment. And I don't think it was a laser. Well, it was a drilling laser, I'm sure. It had quite a big beam, and it looked very industrial. It was probably for whatever, cutting off big sections of I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't necessarily a weapon.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it's not efficient. I mean, it's a torch. It's just a big laser torch. They just happen to put on like far beam. It's just a plasma cutter. It's very, yeah. There should have been an edit though, at the start where you saw them outside like lasering, and then picking up a door. They just lasered out of metal and start hammering it. Then like that needed to be in there just to help set it up, just to kind of add the extra like day in the life of. But as you said earlier, it's likely we're going to see back to this. I wouldn't be surprised if we cut later on and see like an actual person working on an actual ship, and then maybe we see like one android that doesn't go crazy, that doesn't get hacked, and then he helps save a random civilian, and then they gets killed. So there's some things they can play with. I think we're going to keep see the horror. I agree with you. We're going to see it a few times, I think.
Yeah. Starmex puts in $5. I should clarify, the Federation scout ship from instruction front half looks very similar to the front half of those new fighters. Thought it looked close. Federation scout.
Yeah, the scout ship.
Insurrection.
Yeah, I'd say more Jolan than scout ship, but the wrong ship. Yeah, I mean it's less. I guess it's maybe a bit more that than.
I compared it to the fighters from Shattered. The game Shattered Mirror. Looks a lot like that. Shattered Universe in the front. So, but yeah.
I have a great comment at JJM Freeze 123, and I sympathise. Until he killed everyone, I really liked F8. Me too.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so he kills everyone quickly, effortlessly, boom, 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 and then we see Federation guards come in. And I do want to talk about this later on because they're wearing like full-on costumes, and I went through each frame trying to get a clean image of them, and they have a new phaser that is a gun phaser rather than a pointy phaser, but we will talk about that at a different date, Stuart/guys, because some interesting stuff there.
Yes, keep an eye out for future videos.
And then we get the stock footage reused for a third time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's less and less impactful the more we see them.
Yeah. And you made an interesting point when I spoke to you earlier that perhaps these are actually these are still humans in these that are actually trying to take out the orbital defense. Because it could, I don't think there'd be synths aboard all these ships necessarily, unless they can control them remotely, which could be a possibility as well. Because these could be like drones or something that take the parts up to orbit to be assembled. So, I mean, it could be that, or it could be them trying to take out or stop the synths from using the defense network. So,
I mean, you've got to consider that they can detect humanoid life signs very quickly. So, if every synth that's doing something, and we've noted how many are doing what, because that dude, the way they're implying it, that dude hacked enough by himself. So that why would you need more than one? So I don't know what everyone else is doing, but if they can detect life signs and there's however many people, then in all the key areas they're like 6 people. They all died within a minute. Shit. And now the security guard is doing something bad. Well, let's shoot the power conduits. Let's shoot the signals. Shoot the synth, because they're showing us attacks. What if they're shooting the buildings the synths are in? The only way to get through to them is to do that. It does not need to be that, but it's just something worth pointing out.
And Dario, you're right. It's very unclear what species own those ships, except there's Federation's emblems on them.
And Alex MG1, they edited the Starfleet logo out from the trailers, didn't they? Yes, I said that. I noticed that very quickly, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and also we got a PayPal apparently, Stuart. Or at least incoming.
All right, I'll check that.
But then he... this is one thing I want to give credit for that I said earlier. The room was bad, but I want to give him credit here. They have just a pad. An exactly right pad. Just like, could be straight out of Voyager. It's barely seen, but it's exactly right. So good job, pads still exist. Give him credit for using those.
Yeah. No PayPal yet, but I'll keep checking. Yeah, and then F8 basically holds the gun to his head and pulls the trigger. It seems like he hesitates for a split second.
But it isn't like a second, it's a split second.
Yeah.
And it is interesting. Because again, the acting could have been any way, but it was very like, I'm running on automation within automation,
Mm-hmm.
And then task sequence, and then back to the vineyard. We have back on Earth, serene and nice, sort of, and more hollow. Stuart, everything's a hollow screen now.
No problem with that.
Oh, I would prefer a better balance personally, but it's just sad because I guess we just didn't have holotech for 200 and something years. What?
T-Berg sci-fi fan says perhaps it is Control F8.
I mean, to be fair, it could be Control coming back from the future again, wanting to get revenge, and so he took over all the androids to take over and kill. That would be the Discovery crossover.
No. Moving on. So... Oh, Caleb Horn throws in $10.
Wow, thank you.
Laris was one of my favorite characters this episode. Love the banter between her and Picard when they went and CSI'd Dodge's apartment. What doesn't work very well? That doesn't work very well. Well, that's what we wanted you to think. Yeah, it's highly unreliable. Perfect. That's what we wanted you to think. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she was one of the best parts of this episode. And now wondering if she's gonna keep being in it. Don't know.
Hard to say. Yeah. But yeah, they're checking out the explosion. There's no evidence of any Romulans or Dodge or anything.
And it wasn't a dream, Stuart. We do get confirmation it wasn't a dream. But no one quite addresses that he survived a massive explosion fine. So I think they might just have forgotten about that. Like, they're never going to address how he survived this and got home. I think that's just, no one cares. Plot hole, but whatever.
Well, they say it's certainly the Tal Shiar's operational style, but not even the Tal Shiar would have been so would have the audacity to be doing this on Earth.
Which I personally disagree with. Because I think they could easily... Why would you not? Are you telling me that no... Like, there are Romulans on Earth. I assume there's always just Romulans on Earth normally. Why wouldn't... And the Tal Shiar are the super secret. You don't think... Do you know how there was Section 31 on Kronos? They had the balls to go to Kronos. I'm sure Section 31 are on Vulcan and Romulus and everything too. So I don't agree with that at all. Like, the best of Tal Shiar... Although, did you get the context that Romulus, like, whatever is left of Romulus isn't weak? Because these guys aren't like... There's no Tal Shiar. Like, they're talking as if everything's functional. They just chose not to be part of it. So I appreciate that they are now past... You know, they aren't the Romulan refugees anymore. You know, they're way past that. They're fine. They're doing well.
Yeah.
It's the life they chose. They're not like the destruction of Romulus. That's past. So I like that. It's good, I thought.
Zeraxis throws in $10. Thank you.
Dude, thank you.
I still don't get why they're doing so much construction on the surface. It's got to be less time and resource intensive and safer, I think. It would have been better to have the androids attack from orbit. I think there was a combination of both, and I think we're going to be seeing lots more cuts back to that. It's going to become a full picture over the course of the season as to what happened at Utopia Planitia. So,
yeah, no, I know what you
mean. Then she mentions the Zat Vash, a Tal Shiar myth. It's a kind of boogeyman that they use to frighten new recruits and children, he says. 'Cause he's like, here we go.
And I give this guy so much credit for his looks. I'm loving this guy's underplay. It's amazing how Vulcan he's channeling. It's really strange, like the way he's doing it. But like, I'm really enjoying his like underwhelming performance. It's really memorable, actually.
Yeah.
And it compliments her tremendously. Are these meant to be married people or brother and sister?
Yes.
Married. Okay.
Yeah, they're married.
Okay. Because they mention how my first handler, my mother, got drunk. My father. Not sure what that was referenced to specifically.
He was translating for her. Because he's saying my first handler, and he's like your mother, but he's saying it my mother.
But what did the dad do?
He got drunk on Romulan ale and spilled all the secrets of this ultra secret Zat Vash.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know how she learned. I didn't get that bit. I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah. Eugene though throws in 500 rubles. Almost every scene with Picard in this episode is one-on-one interaction. Maybe some people are not real, but I'm starting to think that this means these scenes were shot with heavy re-editing in mind.
It's good, but also we're in the setup. We're building up. I mean, he's talked to more people in this episode than he did last episode. It feels like anyway, like in terms of like long conversations. But also when he gets his crew, he'll have these long, big scenes with the team. But it's interesting. Yeah, but I think he's not hallucinating, which is fine.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Fleet Boss Swiftback puts in $1.99. The two Romulans are awesome. Love them. Absolutely agree.
Yep.
373 of you guys here.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Everybody hit the like button. It's really simple. Just take time. I'll give you a second. There you go. Hit like.
That was a quick second, Stuart.
I know.
I mean, I want to see 220 likes. Almost 400 of you watching. So obviously, 196 likes, we should be able to hit 220. I mean, that's not even like, come on. You guys can do it. Don't let the Bratva down. So what is the Bratva, Stuart?
The Zat Vash.
Yeah. Give us explanation, Stuart, because they dumped explanation on us. They were just like, right, sit down, audience.
Yeah. They're essentially an ancient organization, ultra secret, and the Tal Shiar is merely the mask that is worn over top of them. Like they're in the background of the Tal Shiar, and yeah, just an ancient organization that hates androids. But we get to that in it kind of cuts between this. It's weird. This scene is weird because it does the dialogue at the estate, and then it goes to the investigation at the apartment, then the estate, then the apartment. It's very quick.
We can finish off the estate bit and we'll jump to the other bit because I'm going to stay on the pictures. So now we learn that there was tech-based organizations thousands of years ago for the Romulans, which now gives them a much older, because they were saying that the Klingons had space travel a few hundred years before Like, it wasn't like thousands of years before, but I guess the Romulans might have been one of the older spacefaring civilizations. Which means, boy, they were really... Like, they were one of the smaller empires because they're not expansionist in the same way. So, boy, if they had thousands more... If they had like 1,000 more years of space travel, which is a lot... You know, that's the entire Trek universe times 3, timeline-wise, and they didn't make the empire in that time.
Yeah.
You know, because we were all kind of assuming everyone evolved round the same, like, 500-year span. So I don't really like that necessarily. Although maybe for 500 years they were just like, we'll stay in our own solar system. Like, they stayed in certain places longer. But don't like that line. Should have been hundreds and hundreds or 1,000 years. So thousands is kind of a problem.
Eugene puts in 250 rubles. Zat Vash is Romulan for 3-1, section 31. That's funny.
No, it's Romulan for death, because one of the words for death, because only the death keep the secrets properly.
Yes.
Which I thought was actually a good bit of dialogue there. And
Zat Vash is the term sometimes used to refer to the dead, the only reliable keeper of secrets.
That's good. That's good dialogue.
Matthew Friedis. DeFriedis puts in $2. If they kill Picard, I'm going to lose my ship. Funny. And Fleetpaw Swiftback, $1.99. Very nice. 220 again at 250. Hashtag like Spike. Hashtag make me pay. So there you go, guys. There's a challenge. Get to 250 likes.
But,
now,
okay, there you go.
I was just going to say, she goes on to say that the Romulans don't experiment with androids,
explicitly.
AIs. Computers are just number systems. They don't have any kind of development projects. There's no cyberneticists on Romulus.
Well, and not just that, but for that, like that is for some reason this Jatvash, like that's their thing. That's the secret that keeps them together, is that they hate androids and all AI. That's their thing. The secret, ultra mega powerful people in the Roman government. That's what they hate. For thousands of years. And then, Stuart.
Well, then I just remember back to when we looked at the Defector, where the guy's on the Enterprise and he's sitting in 10 forward and Data's watching him and he goes, "You're the android, aren't you? I know a host of Romulan cyberneticists that would love to be this close to you." And Data's like, "I don't find that very appealing." And he's like, "Nor should you." So automatically, they just broke their own... Well, they broke canon. They didn't break their own canon, but they broke canon. But with the Romulans, because there were Romulan cyberneticists, because that guy was an admiral. He knew what was going on. He wasn't, hearing speculation. So.
And it's not as if you can say, "Oh, but he was just lying." He was giving them command codes and schematics, and he was being fully trustworthy. That was the entire point. Then he committed suicide. So, of course, he didn't lie about that. There's no... I mean, only the Jatvash are the anti-AI people. The Romulans aren't in general, is what I got. It's just like, they don't use them as like we don't use them. But those guys, like, kill all AI. Because obviously this guy wasn't like, kill Data. He's like, oh yeah. So yeah, that's one of the first like distinct canon violations they've done. Because they just didn't go back and watch TNG. Because they could have modified that to say they like keep it under wraps, or they don't allow it to evolve. And therefore you can still have cyberneticists, they just don't go very far. But that was a legitimate canon violation that now it makes them sound a little bit stupid. I mean, Trek does canon violations all the time, especially Discovery. But that was actually one. So, yeah, we found one, Stuart.
Yeah. Dystopian guy puts in £2. Hey, Zat Vash is the Discovery crew gone back in time. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's...
No. That's not even worth speculating on.
I like that, though. Because they start the future, and season 4 they go back 4,000 years.
Ariam, she's alive, and she went back in time.
I like that's not. That's kind of fun, actually. Well
the Trembler puts in $5.
Hey.
They're playing with fire, this new group. Handle this wrong, and they could ruin the Romulans, possibly the Vulcans. This group could go back to Vulcan.
Oh, yeah, actually. Thousands of years. Oh, I'm going to research that. They probably, yeah, actually. Because that wasn't even that... But that is true, though, because the Vulcans, they left with warp-capable ships, so that split must have been a while ago. Okay, that actually is really interesting.
Not a banned account puts in $1.99. If the Secret of Michael came out, I'd restore the United Federation of Planets. Sure. Let's see here.
Okay, so the Romulans left in 370 AD-ish. So only about 1,800 years ago. So if they say thousands, it's now you're saying that the Jatvash were actually Vulcan people, and the Vulcans hated cybernetics. So Vulcans hated AI, and then moved to Romulus. Yeah, they didn't check, did they? They didn't even check their timeline of canon. They thought, oh, the Romans resisted for thousands of years.
But then again, he said it's a myth.
Yeah, that's.
And so it could just be like a myth that the facts have been,
Well, that's my hope about this, because it feels so unbelievably easy that she can just explain it. Like, if it's that secret, that special, and she's saying as if it's all fact, I want half of what she said to be wrong. Just flat out wrong, you know? Oh, it's just so easy. It's like, wow. That information was like finding the painting. Oh, just easy. Happens to the tell shell that happens to the right information. So that I thought was a bit stupid. But like I say, I hope it's proved a lot of it wrong. Because, yeah, they don't understand the Romulan Vulcan split, which is kind of important.
Yeah, we got a lot of super chats to catch up on. So, the Trembler, $5. To be fair, they could retcon the cyberneticist as working on artificial limbs or other body parts. I guess.
But it would lose the impact of that scene.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, in 2 minutes Brexit happens, because someone just said goodbye, Britain. So bye-bye. In 1 minute, we're out of the EU. 1 minute. As we're live to about Picard. So I will jump in at that minute, Stuart. So you're welcome to keep super chatting, and I'll jump in.
Eugene, 250 rubles. So Discovery crew will end up traveling to Romulan past to stop control from happening.
Could be fun.
Jeff Jacobs, $2. They fear AI. Why not a division to fight them? Right?
Well, that's the Jatva. They are. That's what they do. So that's one of the problems. It's like it's their code. It's like that's all they're about. It's like the Tal Shell are there for the security of the Empire, but these other people are just there to stop synthetics. How specific is that? That's unbelievably niche. It's like, as I said to you in the review, there's more important things than synthetics. You know? Loads more. Oh, there we go, Stuart. I'm no longer part of the EU now. Just happened. I'm now just a British citizen.
Yay.
There you go. There's the second. Didn't vote for it, but there you go. I'm now independently British. Woo.
Yay. Jarzia throws in $5 Canadian. Laris says these guys have been around for thousands upon thousands of years, but Romulans only left Vulcan 2,030 years ago. Does Zatvash date before Exodus? Or before Exodus?
It would have to.
It would have to, yeah. Matthew Lally puts in £5.
Thank you.
Wasn't the Admiral in the Defector playing with Data? I can buy it as an explanation, but yes, it's sloppy writing. I don't think he was at all.
We just watched it, and he's ridiculously genuine in that one. That's
yeah.
Like, everyone thinks he isn't, but he is the entire time, except like the simple live is because we wouldn't have noticed that unless we just watched it like really recently. It's such a good episode, which is also why I don't mind one of the complaints that people have about near the end where the two Romulans are discussing, and it's kind of cliche villainy melodramatic. It's like, have you seen Tomalok's acting? Look, Picard. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what they do. They are, over the top. That's kind of what they are. It's fine.
Well, even Soji says, the Romulans are known for being dramatic.
Exactly. But it's better to link to the show it's in.
Yeah. Fleet Pod Swiftback puts in $4.99. Unpopular opinion: Zatvash is against AI because a Klingon got drunk, spilled everything and about Discovery and Control, and the Romulans said "F that." Sure, I'll buy that.
Linking to Control is really interesting. I'll be honest. If Discovery was a better show, that could be really smart. Like if Discovery didn't go forward in time, they stopped because they didn't have to go back in time. What if the wormhole actually taken control back into the past, and the Vulcans managed to destroy him because it was whatever, and that could be the reason for it? That'd be interesting. Like, it's simple, but it'd be relatively smart.
Yeah, I like Scythe Commander's idea. Romulan years are shorter. Clever.
Yes, but everything converts to English years, so we can actually track them. Otherwise, it'd be kind of pointless. But I love that. It's a really great point, but always be kind of pointless.
Dreamer out there puts in $2. Don't like hearing the word dude used so much. I don't know where they... I don't know.
I don't know.
Sorry. Eugene puts in 200 rubles. Jesus, so many minds think alike. The Discovery connection is so stupid, so it means it must be true.
Yeah.
And the Trembler.
Well, Travis Foster. 2,000 years ago, perhaps the synths were the cause of the Vulcan Civil War.
Maybe.
They explicitly say it's about emotion and purging it. But that's interesting. But the thing is, Vulcans have never had synths, so neither side kept them. That's a problem with doing anything that goes back to the past. It's like a massive retcon upon retcon. That's why we're fine with a lot of the newer things in Picard, because it's the future. You can move forward. Yeah. I just wish the Tal Shiar are strong enough, Stuart. Like, they're pretty deadly. You don't need double bonus ultra Tal Shiar. It's like they're the best ones.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The Trembler, $2 could...
Thank you. Could just be one group among the Vulcans, if so. Maybe.
And Jarzia throws in $2. UK channeling William Wallace. Freedom! Yeah. All right, so let's move on.
So then we get... this annoys me because they've got a civilian shuttle. They've got traffic that isn't a Discovery shuttle. Why did they use that in those shots? They've got one right there. It's generic Orville shuttle number 3. Just use that for the other shots. They've got one. They built it. It's right there, Stuart.
Yeah, I know.
Really annoys me.
All right. So we get the Romulan methods of forensic science. Molecular reconstruction is illegal in the Federation. They're also very unreliable. Dubious at best. She's like, yeah, that's what we wanted you to think. So they reconstruct the crime scene.
Yeah, I said to you in the other review, but I edited it out for time. I think Patrick was a bit out of his league in this scene. He didn't feel comfortable. He wasn't quite doing... And you said he loves Dixon Hill, but he wasn't really being the mystery solver. He was just kind of like there.
Yeah.
But she was owning this. She was like... He was giving 70%, she was giving 130. So the scene's fine. I think it's his weakest scene in the entire episode, personally. And what do you think of the transporter beam in, by the way? Because this one's...
I liked it. It was a new take. It wasn't the Discovery one. It wasn't the swirly one. It was a nice... It was kind of like it definitely felt like an evolution from TNG.
Yeah, well, like the Nemesis. It was, I liked it. It was, although, how exactly did they beam in? Because obviously the Romulans beamed in, but they were a death squad, as Picard calls them. I mean, you can't just beam into any place on the planet. That would be privacy non-existent. He's not an admiral. I guess she's ex-Tal Shiar, she could hack something, but, do they have to hack a transporter terminal? And then how do they get back out? It felt a bit odd, like they just beamed in. He's not Starfleet. Like, that's break and entering. Like, that's illegal, surely.
I didn't even think about it.
But that's what I mean. It's just so blasé. It's like, that's not legal. Plus, there was a murder here. Not that anyone knows, but...
Jarzia throws in $5 Canadian. Zat Vash equals Protheans from Mass Effect. They see AI androids and are like, throw it out the airlock.
Yeah, no, that's funny. That's funny. And yeah, I like this scene in general. I love the joke. It's smart, it's clever. Although it seems weird for Picard to human-splain. It's like, oh, your tech is a bit shit. I should know. You designed it, and I only seen it in reports. It's a bit like, really, Picard? It's like, it's her tech. You're telling her it's crap. But it was a good joke. I have no problem with it.
Not a bad account, puts in $1.99.
Thank you.
As Britain exploded into World War III now, post-Brexit. Let's not talk about the politics on this. Let's just...
there's a haze of nuclear explosions out the window, so maybe. But we'll be fine. Won't reach me, I'm sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Purple
Although actually, there's fireworks, actually. Huh. Okay. Cool.
Purple Pothos puts in £2. Thank you very much. Yeah, and this is the scene too where she's Those clever fuckers. It's very quick. It's the only one that's appropriate. It's the only swear word or time it's used in this episode that is appropriate, in my opinion. But I thought it was kind of funny, and the subtitles did say "fuckers." So,
well, it's nice because it's so subtle, and also she's not Starfleet, she's not Federation, she's Tal Shiar, she's Romulan, and she's a sort of fiery character. All these things put together. Okay, we'll give her it. Sure.
And Mole says, everybody says this. Mole says, I think she said feckers, and she didn't. If you turn on the captioning, it's fuckers. Trust me.
Now, to be fair...
Cheeky fuckers, she says.
As the joke is, feckers is Irish, the word you would say. To be fair, they might have got subtitles wrong, because if they didn't have the script...
They didn't, though, because if you listen, she does say fuckers. Yeah. It's close enough, but it could be either one, but it's definitely fuckers. So,
I wonder if she's actually... Irish or it's an accent, because why would you ask the actress to do an Irish accent to be a Romulan? Like, she must actually be Irish, otherwise do a character voice like that, especially as, well,
it doesn't matter regardless, because feckers is still the same translation. It's still the same word.
I just mean in general, like,
yeah,
no reason to have her be Irish unless the actress is Irish and they love the actress. But yeah, no, obviously they say they scrub it. It's so well cleaned. They can't even forensic it. So far beyond to the point that this is like Section 31 level of they were never here. And like the first half, I don't quite like the second half where they actually do find evidence. I like when they say that the computer, they didn't delete the information, but they de-indexed it. So you've now got like billions of individual files, all that look the same, that aren't indexed. I mean, if you can't search for something and everything is a 1 or a 0, I mean, that does make things basically impossible to find. But as my dad actually said, he said, well, why don't you just delete all the files? I mean, deleting would leave a trace, like, oh, someone deleted them. But if the information's still there, then you could find it after enough time. So why don't you delete it anyway? So it seems like a bit inefficient, but they had to, a bit contrived. They had to find it. So I was like, it's okay.
403 people here, over the 400 mark. So thank you guys. Hit like, hit the like button, and welcome. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Let's see. Eugene puts in 200 rubles and says, I missed the Effer's moment mostly because I was shocked how 28 plus century forensic tech was. Well, Tal Shiar tech, but yeah.
Well, exactly. It's not Earth tech, it's not human tech. It's specifically Tal Shiar cool tech. So that kind of allows us to do its own thing. So I don't really have a problem with that, to be honest.
Yeah. But I do like that they traced the incoming calls to faces that matched hers because they're basically identical. So the computer did its little thing. It corrected thinking it was Dodge when it was actually Soji. So that was kind of neat.
Like I said, I think it was a little bit contrived how they found it, but this also
they didn't find out where she is though, which I liked. It was just that she's off-world. It's very vague.
Yes, absolutely. I agree completely. But it answered a question that we were thinking. Yes, they knew they were sisters. Yes, they were talking.
Yeah.
Which I was convinced they didn't.
I was convinced they did.
Yeah, but considering that she's only existed for 3 years, it's like, what, were they talking every other day? I mean, and if she had all their memories, why? I mean, does Picard know about the Borg reclamation facility? Because, her sister got a job there. I mean, that seems really odd to me that she would know that. And even, why would you let signals into a Borg reclamation center? That feels risky to me. I know she's part of the staff, but I mean, everyone's sort of freelance staff. No one's like staff, except the guards. So it felt a bit odd to me. I was expecting it to be like one message from 8 months ago, not like, yeah, they talked all the time from inside a Borg cube. It's like, really? So
I don't think it's secret.
No, I don't think it's secret either. But like, it's like, would you really let people? It just feels like more secure than that. Just let signals go out. Yeah. Just one step too far for me personally.
Vance 1982 puts in $5. My feeling the Zatvash is that they existed on Vulcan, and then when the Exodus happened, a small group were chosen to go to that group.
Would have to, yeah.
Or they could have been one of the instigators of the Romulan, Exodus. But anyway,
Then we get the Borg cube, the reclamation facility, and it's not a Borg cube. It's called the artifact. Don't you know?
And this is some of my favourite stuff because it, as I said to you earlier, the guesses I made were trying to be respecting canon discussions, and for the most part, I got the answers I wanted to hear. So I was really happy about. Well, we'll get those in a second, but you know, I liked what we were being given there. Although we see X-Borg fixing parts of the cube with drones. I guess every race has drones now, all of a sudden. But whatever, they like their makes Discovery drones more make sense. But I guess they're trying to fix the Borg cube at the same time. Maybe they want it operational by the end. Maybe that's part of the deal. We'll save you and you fix it.
I don't know, but right after that scene, you get this clown girl that walks through the thing with the clown face makeup. And it's really stupid because later when Picard goes to Starfleet headquarters, the exact same clown girl, and I'm not being racist, maybe they all look alike, but it's the exact same clown girl, comes out right behind Picard. So I don't know what race this is, but I'm not super stoked about it, that's for sure.
Well, Stuart, twins exist. And, yep, it's the exact same one. Hey, I mean, cool for her, though. She got to be a Romulan scientist major and Starfleet cadet. Maybe she was Jatvas. Because, you know, we're going to get the opposite later. I mean, I didn't even notice that for a second, so awesome eyes there, Stuart.
It stood right out the first time. I'm like, good God, what the hell is that? And then later, it's right behind Picard again. I'm like, really?
Well, you said, really? Good God, what's that? Again. Okay, cool. Well, good for noticing.
Sergeant Roadkill puts in 2 pounds.
Sergeant Roadkill.
Does Trek need a faux swear like Frau or Gorham?
Yep.
Or like Transformers Slag?
Yes, it does. Yeah. If you need one, make one up. You know, Supernova. It's fucking Supernova. Yeah. Everyone hates it. And then you get the lovey-dovey scene. No, we don't.
One more super chat.
Oh.
Eugene, 200 rubles. The capabilities are fine, but holographic reconstruction is way too far. They would be fine with just reading them from a tricorder and left with more money on the budget. P.S. Gosh, I hate holograms.
I mean, you can see where they're spending their money, and it's not like it's flashy. Audience members would, that looks modern, rather than a shuttle where they could then make more sense canon. So yeah, they're throwing money at things that don't work as well. It didn't really add anything to see it because this scene didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But then you get a sort of a lovey-dovey scene, and it's okay. It's okay. It's a bit fast since it's been like one day because I mean, if these stories might not be actually happening at the same time, but Picard has been searching for about a day or two, and so they chose to sleep together really quickly. Now, is the future sleep with whoever you want, but I guess they fell madly in love. But as we learn later, he's actually going after her. In which case, you know, he could have read her file and then, you know, played to all of the advantages that, you know. Especially since
absolutely, that's what he did.
Especially since she doesn't even know what he's doing here, so she's sleeping with a random Romulan that won't tell her what his job is on not a secret but a specialist Borg cube. It's a bit of I guess she really fancies him, and as she says later, the hottest Romulan she's ever met, and that's just enough to bang him.
Well, it's funny because right before she says that, she also says Romulans are really into drama. Why would you want to get in a relationship with a Romulan if they're all into drama, and he's super secret and he won't tell you what he does? And I love when he's like,
as well.
I love when he's like, "Can you keep a secret?" She's like, "Yes." Good. So can I. It's like, you asshole.
Oh, I love that line though. Such a smart line. She asks him, "What do you do here?" And that's the line. It's such a nice little. Yeah. But I mean, I don't get the sense that she's like, because Stuart, and this is I never thought I'd say to anyone, Stuart. Do you really think a Borg cube is the best place to start a relationship? A long-term healthy relationship on a Borg cube. Is that really the right place? No, it's not. So it's just, you know, people being adults.
I got to point out too, I noticed this in the first episode. There's something in his right ear. I don't know if it's supposed to be like an earring or something, or if it's an earpiece. If it's, I thought it was a tattoo the first episode, and this one is clearly a thing, a device, or something. Yeah. So,
although, actually, I've just brightened it. There's a face in it.
Yeah, there is.
I assumed it was a piece of tech, but it could just be an earring.
Can you zoom in on it?
Yeah,
I got mine zoomed in.
This is really detailed, actually. That's a really detailed little detail that, yeah, it stuck out to me like a sore thumb. That's a really small face. I think it's just like an ear piercing, honestly. And it might be to like hide a makeup joint. But yeah, that's I saw
It's only
it.
on the one side too. So
Yeah, I think it's just an earring, honestly, just a space from the earring.
Dreamer and $5.
Thank you.
The flashback to Mars. The word "dude" was dropped two or three times. That is the word we've only ever heard in Disco or from Tom Paris. That's what I was saying. Oh, okay. Didn't notice it and didn't stick out to me. So sorry.
I mean, there's other things to think about, honestly.
Yes.
She's at it again, Stuart. She wants all the attention, doesn't she?
Well, that's Siri. I got Siri on my wrist and Alexa on my desk.
Can they talk to each other, Stuart?
I never tried. I should maybe give that a go. I've got touch tech.
And Trooper 116 says, could that be an important symbol for that secret group? Maybe, but you shouldn't have symbols for secret groups.
And wear them
overtly next to people that you're sleeping with who will look in your ear. And then you get the opposite to the Carol Marcus naked scene. It's there because modern, but it's the most covering version, but it is still there. And it's like half a second, but it's still there. And then you get his boxers too. Look, so I'll be equal opportunity. Here's both characters in their and I'm sure there's like regulation underwear. I'm sure they were given them so they don't have any outside clothing. It's like identical.
Yeah. Jarzia throws in $2 Canadian. It's his stylized Borg tooth.
God. For every Borg I kill, I get a new earring. Oh, it's only killed one. Yes, I just got to.
And Fleetpaw Swiftback puts in $1.99. 254 likes. Heck yes. Again at 300. Hashtag like spike. Hashtag make me pay. 409 of you here. Guys, if you haven't hit like yet, hit the little like button.
Yeah. How could you have not?
Just hit it. Helps us out. So, yeah. All right.
But I was surprised how much I actually liked this scene between the two of them. And as I said to you before, I didn't like him in the last episode because he seemed very awkward and like just very forced. This one, really interesting. I really like, and his reveals are so good in this one. No, I like him.
Jarzia said I was making a play on Bluetooth.
For comedy.
See ya, Dario. Have fun. Yeah, so then they're back on Earth. Well, yeah, they're going to see each other later, apparently. But we're back on Earth, and Moritz shows up. And we find out later this is his doctor that was on the Stargazer with him, which is really cool to meet another former crew member.
And that adds so much depth to it. That was a great choice. It was such like a fan thing, but better than being a random person, you know. And it tells you everything you know about it.
I'm sure he was mentioned in a novel or a few.
Yeah.
You know, so it would be cool for people that have read those novels to see him finally. I mean, I haven't read any with him in, but anyway.
And I have severe mixed feelings about this scene.
I know. Well, let's just break it down real quick, then we'll talk about it.
Yep.
So I know there was a bit of a trouble with my remote med scan, but I hardly expected a house call. Your office told me you'd be forwarding the certificate of interstellar service as soon as you had time to see the results.
I thought that was cute. That was fun. I liked that. He's doing it by the book. You have to be certified. Makes sense. Cool. Good so far.
Yeah. And the guy's like, looks at the T and he's like, yeah, I think you're going to need something stronger than that. Your med scan came in at or above Starfleet minimums in every category, cardiovascular, metabolic, cognitive. For a relic, you're in excellent shape.
And I loved that. That was a great touch. It's like he's not actually senile. Like he can still be a legitimate officer. He's choosing not to be. And, you know, then...
Just that little abnormality in your parietal lobe. I was told a long time ago that it might cause a problem eventually. Loss of appetite, mood swings, unsettling dreams, inappropriate displays of anger on interplanetary news hollows. What do you think it is? Well, we need to run more tests. Could be any number of related syndromes. So it could be a number of things. I know everybody's yelling aromatic syndrome in the comments without me even looking, I guarantee you. And then, come on, doctor, let's have it. And it's Dr. Benayoun is his last name, so Moritz Benayoun.
Great name.
He says a few are treatable, but they all end the same way, some sooner than others. And then he says, well, you need to certify me to Starfleet for initial service. Will you do it?
Yep.
He says, I don't suppose you condescend to tell me why. Secret mission. We certainly had our share of those in the Stargazer, blah, blah, blah. And then, do you really want to go back out into the cold knowing? Picard's like, more than ever, knowing. Maybe if you're lucky, this mission will kill you first. So that's the whole scene, pretty much.
Thoughts, go.
Well, they put a ticking clock on Picard as a plot device, and I think it's going to get cleared up. Actually, you know what? I think it's going to... The problem in the parietal lobe is probably from him being locutus, and when he goes to the Borg cube and he frees Soji, since she's been working with the Borg, she's going to be able to cure him, and boom, there you go.
Any other thoughts? I mean, that was streamlined as hell. Anything else before I jump in?
Yeah, well, streamline's good.
Okay. He says, as he knows, it's not going to be streamlined.
Yeah, we're going to be sitting here for the next hour and a half now. So
thanks, man. Appreciate it. That's real nice. No, yeah, I it was sad to hear because it's so unnecessary. It adds nothing, you know. It's very Logan of it, you know. I know Patrick wants Logan again. He wants to recapture that Logan glory, but this is not the right medium for that. And if he just gets killed, it's such a cliche that, you know, the dying hero, one last mission before he dies. But the fact is, the guy's so indecisive at what it could be that it could be anything, and he could be dying in years and years and years. It's such a vague thing that it means basically nothing. Because the fact is, he's like 93 in this, and yes, he could live to 170 probably, or they could die young. Like, he's already, like, him dying, they're all dying at that age, just slower than others, you know? Like, people have heart attacks randomly. Like, it feels kind of disingenuous. Like, you're perfectly healthy, but you might die sooner than me. Okay?
I can honestly say I don't think he'll have a heart attack because he's got an artificial heart. It'll probably keep going forever.
Well, artificial heart attack.
Right.
But, oh, came out. But I think the subversion of expectations would be to actually heal him. And I think you're right. I think the Borg are going to be the I mean, obviously they want you to think aromatic syndrome because he says it could have played up. Yeah. But that could also be Borg stuff was in my brain that we couldn't remove. I was one that could play up. That, I think, is the obvious route they're telling us they're going to by not telling us that way. Because otherwise they would say, is it aromatic syndrome? I thought I was cured 30 years ago. I don't know, John. Like, the way they didn't play it tells us it's not the obvious.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he'll be cured, and that would be surprising. He'll actually live happily at the end of it, having a new purpose, doing something else. Because if his last scene in season 3 is just to die, it's like, oh well.
Yeah.
Cool. And I hated the guy's line at the end. I know he's his friend, but they haven't seen each other in decades, so they're not like that close, obviously. But saying, "Oh, luckily he'll die out there." It's like, oh, shut the hell up, you jackass. He didn't even say it like he was being friendly, like not a real friend. It's like me saying, "Oh, I hope you die on the plane, Stuart." Such a shitty line. I hated that.
Well, it's he meant because this is going to Picard's probably going to deteriorate and be, you know, an invalid and not be able to, you know, just be drooling on himself. He doesn't want to see his friend do that. So maybe going out in a blaze of glory on a last mission is the better way before it kills him. That, you know, the other way. So that's what vibe I got from it. It didn't bother me at all.
Bothered me a lot personally. And he's also a doctor, but you know, just the way he said it, I just didn't appreciate. But yeah, anyway. But good casting. He was good. And I know the voice from somewhere. He must be like a voice actor or something, so I definitely recognise the personality, just not the face.
Yeah. Well, Eugene throws in 250 rubles. Or Picard dies at the end, and his crew renames the ship after him, so passing the torch. So JJ. And that would make more sense for the show to be called Picard, not just based on a character, but, you know, yeah. I don't think that's going to happen, but
yes, we finally get Starfleet. I still love the transporter terminals. Mm-hmm. Why not? Makes sense, easy. Good CG too, because it has to be like seamless. It's probably actually quite hard to do because it's like people coming and going.
And then there's Clown Girl. Yeah,
there is Clown. It's very. If this is Starfleet Command, it's quite underwhelming Like, it's not
Well,
exactly I know it's a real location, but it's very under-impressive for the head of Starfleet Command's main building. Okay.
I don't think it's the main building necessarily, but...
Well, that's where the head of Starfleet works, so you'd assume quite an important building.
Yeah, but you got to remember the Breen attacked Earth too, so they had to rebuild everything. I don't know.
Didn't do a good job. And they had a Discovery shuttle lifting off and flying, because... Yep.
Of course they did.
Of course they did.
Jarzia, $5. That line was entirely out of respect. He knows it's the last thing Picard would want, to end up losing his mind and dying in the shadow of his former self. And I agree, Jarzia. That's how I took it as well.
He was living on the chateau in all good things, hadn't been diagnosed, and he didn't say, "Can you please kill me?" He was dealing with it. He was living. So I disagree. Maybe at the end, but not just. I just didn't like it. That's obviously personal to me, but what maybe is not personal to me, Stuart, is as Picard walks in, we pan up and we see the USS Enterprise 1701 in brand glory. Fucking okay, fine. Back a step. Damn it.
Before we get to that, Marvin R says you skipped over the TNG shuttle.
No, I doubt it.
Well, apparently there's a TNG shuttle here somewhere, so I'm looking.
Well,
I can't see anything.
Please clarify, because I strongly doubt it. I mean, there's this shuttle, but that looks Discovery to me. I mean, if you can clarify, but I strongly doubt it.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, so Disco Prize.
Well, no, it's the Enterprise, Stuart. That's the 1701 Enterprise.
Yeah, and
as seen in Star Trek.
And it goes right to the Enterprise D, because there's no other Enterprises in the lineage. There's no other important ships at all.
No. It's the Enterprise, Stuart. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. The thing about that is that because they've said it's not a visual reboot. Remember, they haven't said that. They said some aliens are getting updated, but it's not a visual reboot. It's just updating it for the modern time, but not a visual reboot. Therefore, there's all the Connies still exist. This is just one of the Connies. They're out. It's just one of the Connies. And it just happened. They should have shown 3 ships. 3 was the missing number. You know, just showing 2 is a slap in the face to all people that don't like Discovery, and a jerk off that do like Discovery. And if Discovery was good, it'd be fine. You know, it's like if that was if Voyager just come out and that was Voyager, but like, yes, Voyager. But it's a real slap in the face. But I mean, Discovery shells. So.
Eugene throws in 500 rubles. So the elephant in the room is here, Disco Enterprise, and apparently in recent Walmart Super Bowl ad, there is a disco version as well. Yeah, I saw that.
Great advert.
Yeah.
Like, brilliant. Young Bill and Ted. Brilliant. Oh, yeah. Bill. Brilliant. Really well done.
Not a band account. Puts in $1.99. Last episode, old Mike B travels to Star Trek Picard, sacrifice self. Old Mike B travels to STP, sacrifices self. I can't make heads or tail of that comment, but thank you.
But yes, then we get the scene with the dude, the first scene ever released. Now, what did you think of it in its entirety?
I thought it was fine. He's doing his job. You might know exactly who this is, but he's your name, sir, because he needs clarification. Picard is like, oh, he seems kind of surprised and like, you know, kind of excited. Like, to spell my name, Picard, Jean-Luc. He's like, yes, good to see you back up and it was a weird line, him saying, good to see you back, you know, up and around. It's like he knew about the explosion almost. I don't know.
So my interpretation was it was a much better than was like in the leaked footage and the context, because Patrick's acting, I think, is lovely. It's like, like, I love the way he delivered that line. I took it as he doesn't necessarily recognize him. He's not sure. He just didn't watch the news, and he's a new officer. Like, he's in his 20s?
Yeah.
I mean, he retired before he was born, so he knows the name as one of the textbook, but he doesn't know his face for whatever reason, or doesn't recognize him fully. And so he's waiting for the confirmation. As soon as he knows the name, he's like, oh, yeah, he looks down and says, retired this year, like the year he retires. Like, oh, yeah, sir, welcome back. Good to see you. You're not dead and you're doing good after retiring. So I think he knows who he is, just didn't fully recognize him. I mean, you know, it was less disrespectful than I thought it was originally going to be, and I think Patrick's acting was spot on here.
Yeah.
And
Oh, go ahead.
Well, and you can so take the guy's acting as just like, this is my first day, sir. Can you tell me your name? Because my supervisor's right there. Just Your name, sir? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you, Captain Jean-Luc Picard of Starship Enterprise. I do know you.
Yeah. And just the look that Patrick gives him after he slaps on the visitor badge, it's like, yeah. It's kind of a old curmudgeon look. Marvin R, though, throws in €5.
Thank you.
To the left of the badge are 2 shuttles. Bridge are 2 shuttles. The top one going right is shorter than the Discovery shuttle going to the left below it.
They're both Discovery shuttles. Discovery shuttle is very much like... It's just the angle. I mean, they're the same, you know. It's just the weird angle.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell by the squared off back and the long nacelles. I mean, no TNG shuttle looks like that. I mean, it looks more like a TOS shuttle, but that's not how the TOS shuttle's back is. So,
yeah.
Sorry, no. Believe us, because we know ships. And actually, I kind of want that visitor badge now, because I didn't think I was going to like it. But when you put it on a dark thing, the fact that Delta is that punchy, I like. The idea being you are creating your own Delta because you're not Starfleet, so therefore you are... I kind of like it. I didn't like it originally because I hadn't seen it on anybody, but I actually like it. And then we get dibby come. Good.
Yes.
Admiral.
Kirsten.
Tune in tomorrow for our discussion on the Admiral's outfit, coming at 3 p.m. GMT.
Yes. But yeah, he comes and basically talks about Bruce Maddox and what about him. I believe he's using neurons, Commander Data, and create a new organic synthetic. Well, that's not some of it. That's all of it. And the Romulans are involved. Oh, great! This gets better and better. For me, in the Federation, if there's a chance that some part of them exists, then it's our obligation to investigate. There is no we, Jean-Luc. And then this line shows that there's been tension between these two for some time. Kirsten, I know we have not always seen eye to eye. Nevertheless, I have a request to make. Mm-hmm. Based on my years of service, I want you to reinstate me temporarily for one mission. I will need a small warp-capable reconnaissance ship with a minimal crew, and if too conspicuous, well then, I am content to be demoted to captain.
He's so cute.
And
he
then
says that. That's my favourite line.
I know.
It's so Kirk.
I know.
It's so Star Trek 3. It's like, oh, I'll take just captain. I'm okay with that. I'll be happy.
Yeah. And then before we get into the controversial line, I'll just read the super chats real quick.
Oh yes, please do.
Not a band account, $4.99.
I'll just head to the loo then, just for a second. I gotta pee.
Okay. Last episode, Picard should be about to die for the cause, but suddenly, red light flash. Michael Burnham appears, sacrificing herself, saving everyone. No. Eugene, 250 rubles. Another F-bomb. This is Discovery all the way through. P.S. Starfleet is not Federation. True. But yeah, here's the swearing part. The sheer fucking hubris. And the way she delivers it is impressive, to say the least. But the best thing about it is Picard's reaction to it. Because he is totally knocked off base by it. Trek viewer Trekyards, that officer should have at least snapped to attention when he saw that Picard was an admiral. Well, he's a retired admiral, so I don't know how that works exactly. The fact that we all hate this admiral is credit to the actress's acting. Yeah, I guess. Does she work there or does she live there? No pad, computer, or something else to work on the desk? That's a good question. But it's the future, you see. So, yeah. Welcome back.
Hello.
So we're talking. We're going to get into the line now.
Yeah. Yeah. You can go first and I'll respond.
The sheer fucking hubris. And the way she delivered it was very, like, vitriol. It was like,
venomous.
Yeah. And his reaction to it was beautiful. The acting was great. It took him by surprise. He's like, what? And I understand why they're doing it. And in a way, you got to kind of look at it from her point of view. Apparently what happened was he basically threatened Starfleet that he was going to resign unless they went through with their plan to help the Romulans.
Well, a second plan. They lost all the ships, all the people. Do another time. Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, just. So essentially, they called his bluff, and he resigned. And so there's a lot of resentment on Starfleet's part for that, I think. And then plus, just like a few days ago, he was on intergalactic TV saying, because it wasn't Starfleet anymore. So it kind of doubled down. So I can understand things from her point of view to a certain degree. But yeah, this is Jean-Luc Picard we're talking about. He served the Federation well. Like, he's the perfect Federation officer or Starfleet officer.
He commanded 2 flagships, saved the Earth twice just from the Borg. And how many other times? I'm sorry, he's more in his career than she ever will have done.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, is there anyone want to say before I jump into what I think?
I'll just read the super chat. Good T Nice House, $5. What Admiral Clancy should have said was, I'll demote you to Lieutenant Commander. Here's your blue uniform. Your captain will be Captain Kim.
Yeah.
And then Matt Deckard puts in $1.99. Why call them synths, not androids? Because they weren't androids. They didn't have the positronic matrix to be intelligent enough to be considered an android, I don't think. They were just synthetic people, essentially. That would be my guess. There'd be differentiation there.
Yeah, and we said it's them forcing a negative derivative slang, rather than...
Yeah.
Android is data, so by not ruining...
They could have called them Andes. Hey, the Andes.
Yeah.
Or the Roids. You're the Roids, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do you think about this scene?
Okay, well, I mean, obviously you know, but the audience doesn't necessarily know. I like the first half. I love how Picard Patrick acts it. I thought it was very nicely done, very respectful. He comes in asking for although I love his clarification, warp capable. I don't want to take 250 years to get to Romulus. How quaint. He's not firing all cylinders, but he's just being clear. And the way he explains the situation is very clear, very crystal, whatever, great. And you can tell by her vibe, she personally hates this man. This is not professionalism, this is not whatever. This is a woman hating a man and using her power of authority just to say, enjoy, no. You were great, you have nothing now, get out. Yes, she has an argument, it's flawed. Yes, she has personal feelings. They're there, but this is all personal first, and the swearing is just showing how bad of a person she is in this moment. She doesn't reflect Starfleet. Well, no, I think she does, and that's the problem. That's one thing I said in our review, that she represents everything that's wrong with the Federation right now, and that clearly when she argues 14 worlds wanted to leave, that's such a small percentage that if that's it, they're probably just the ones that are close to Romulus, but most people aren't close to Romulus. And that she took the pressure of 14 worlds, allowed them to let a species, I mean, not really let them die, but let that many people die just because 14 threatened to leave. That's because obviously that she at that time, she put her weight either as head of Starfleet or lower rank at the time. She's one of the ones that said, I would rather do this than this, and that's her. The ruler at the time decided the way to go. Wasn't right, wasn't justified, but she made the call, the hard call. And if once she's ousted, the Federation will go back to being better, and it's presented really bad here because she is bad in charge. Just like Admiral Ross took the wrong path of Section 31, just like Dougherty was wrong in Insurrection. She's one of those admirals that just is doing the wrong thing for the wrong reason, but she happens to be in power. And this meeting is really just for her to punch Patrick Stewart in the balls, in a sense. And she's mean, but it's personal, She should have gone to Janeway first. Don't go straight to the top with the woman that clearly hates you. And yes, I know the given the timeline, it feels like, because remember there is no time to travel in this show because you beam. you know. So I guess the interview was probably maybe just 2 days ago. So it is fresh, you know. It's like, you know, the top war hero of the U.S. military saying a better president is bad, saying Obama was bad. That stings more, you know. And then one day after him coming and saying, "Hey, can I have an Air Force fleet?" It's like, But yeah, she clearly hated him the entire time. And I can imagine that maybe like he got Admiral first. Maybe she wanted the Enterprise, you know. I think there's a lot of history there. Because he's older, or she's pretty old too, is the sense I get.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he got the Enterprise over her. Something that simple, and then resentment over years.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something else there that maybe we'll learn about, but
yeah.
I just love how she says, "This isn't your house anymore, Jean-Luc.
Get the fuck
out. Request denied."
Yeah. I mean, I like her acting a lot because I hate her so much, but she's there to represent everything that's wrong with the Federation.
Yeah.
And that shows she did a good job.
And I love how Patrick's like, "Ignore me again at your cost." She's like, "My cost? Like, why are you threatening me now? Because you are in peril, Admiral. There's no peril here, only the pitiable delusions of a once great man desperate to matter." It's like, whoa. Harsh. Relax.
Yeah, but it's well acted. That's the thing. You want to hate her, you know. I think she's a good example of the in Star Trek 3, the dude with the stick, Captain Excelsior. He's just there to be a dickhead that you hate. She's just here to be a bitch that you hate. And I can say that because he was a dickhead. Like, it's not a gendered thing. Each one was different. And that's fine. That's her role in the season. So argument's terrible.
Good tea, nice house, puts in $5.
Thank you.
What's not clear is Picard's rank during the evacuation and Mars attack. The comic suggests he was already an admiral, and Clancy said he was a captain.
Well, that's hyperbole, because he was a captain longer, was the sense I got.
Yes.
And he did more as a captain than an admiral, so everyone thinks of him as the great captain. Admiral, he was leader of a thing that failed. So I think,
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got too.
And then the famous post-moment Discovery Shuttle. Remember how he said, Stuart?
The placeholder.
We had faith in them, and they slapped us in the face, they punched us in the face, and they took our scrotum and said, "We don't like you, Trek fans." Squidge. We had faith right until the last moment, Stuart, and we proved wrong. Yeah. Faith was wrong.
When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, they forgot the placeholder. They forgot to replace it." Oh well.
Remember I fixed it one time? I went ahead and fixed it, and it looked better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad, because that's such a slap in the face shot. The only other thing in frame is the nice Discovery Shuttle that we love. Oh, I made years ago. Pathetic. Moving on, back to the Borg cube. And I love this thing. It's annoying because this episode has some and some because this entire sequence, I pretty much love everything Borg in this entire bit, like flat out. This block. The only thing I don't like, and I'll let you just talk for a minute after that, I don't like how cheesy and corny "oh, hey, you new here? Hey, let me help you. Oh, we're friends now." It's so forced and cheesy and badly. It's not bad. It's just cliche, boring, poor. Like, do it better. But once you get past that, I love the exposition. I love the dialogue. I love the Romulan dude with the mohawk. I thought he was great. Yeah. I love the costumes. I love the Andorians. I love the idea of it. Just this whole thing I thought was really great. Now you can go, Stuart. That was my bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say. I mean, it's interesting, the new lady, the doctor, who's a Trill.
Really subtle Trill, though.
She just started yesterday. Her residency was supposed to start 6 months ago, but the Romulan Free State revoked it when she was halfway there. No idea why or why they finally reinstated it. And I love how Soji's like, "Yep, that sounds about right."
That is a great name for the new Romulans. Romulan Free State. That's great. It's like, how much different could be than Star Empire? Love it. That's a great name.
Let me check PayPal. Apparently we have a PayPal.
And we explain the buttons, saying they'll alert us, don't go into the bad sectors. Because, they still don't know how damaged the cube is. Or they might, they're not telling us. Because it's been like years, they should know. It's not that big a cube.
Yeah. All right, so Robert Hayes sends £5. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
He
it.
says, her line about planets withdrawing if they help the Romulans is very weak reason. If every planet threatened to leave the Federation over a decision, they wouldn't get anything done. There would be provisions in the treaties to stop them from just leaving. Also, the Romulans, as an ally, would be a bigger benefit than 14 random planets leaving.
Yep. The Romulan Star Empire, the ones that cloaking devices, they had a bigger empire. I mean, do you really think that, like I said, imagine if that species in insurrection, they were like, oh, we hate the Romulans. It's like, okay, thanks for joining. Your loss. Yeah, it's just a stupid. It's basically just a Brexit thing, but not thought out. Because if it was like 50% of them or 40%, okay, that's a serious thing. But 14 is nothing, and they could be. If it was Andor and Vulcan and Teller, like if they say all of them worlds disagree with us, fine. It was badly written, badly thought out, badly written. Hate it. Move on. But the next bit's great.
Well, we got a new Patreon as well. Raymond, he says, thanks for the videos. I really enjoy them. So another Patreon member. If you guys want to help us on Patreon and support us, there's links down in the description for that kind of thing. It's a big help to us.
Yeah.
It's a great way to support your favorite YouTubers. So not that we're your favorite. I'm just saying other YouTubers. If you have favorite YouTubers, support them on Patreon. If it's just $1 a month, because it does help them out for sure. And let's see, we've got Mark Lawrence, $5, just checking in from work. Hello, plastic people. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Tesla man.
All right, so back to the
Borg, because there's a lot of exposition here, but I thought this was better done. Exposition.
Yeah, they talk about don't cross over into the gray zone.
You love the gray zone, don't you?
I do. I got so many.
Look at this Mohawk. I love his makeup, this guy. It's great.
If your badge turns green, run.
Yeah. No, he's like, if it turns green, run.
Yeah. As guests of the Borg Artifact Research Institute, your safety is important to us. Just his speech is awesome.
Because it's so like you assume Romulans have always been baddies, but he's just a like, yeah, these guards are just like, it's fine, don't worry about it. There's no like mean intent here. It's really like clean and on the surface nice. I appreciate it, actually. And
Fleet Boss Swiftback puts in $1.99. Lived the dramatic Romulan. I think you mean loved the dramatic Romulan. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, and I have a theory about the gray zone, but that's okay.
No, dude, say it. I mean,
See, they say don't go in the gray zone because it's dangerous. It's probably Borg that can assimilate you in there or whatever. I have a feeling that the gray zone, being the gray zone, is, where Maddox might be operating on the cube, perhaps. So it's kind of off limits to everybody else. I have a feeling that Maddox is here using Borg, either drones or components, whatever, in his cybernetic research. So
yeah, I don't. They said X-Borg, walking around.
XBs.
Yeah. Although I had XP, I heard X-Borg and XP, and I was like, what? But they said XB, did they?
Yes, if you look at the subtitles, it's XB. Yeah.
Okay. So I like that. Like, I guess you're here to research the cube, not the Borg themselves. They've had enough trauma. Just let them live on the cube and be happy. Because they do say explicitly later that the Borg drones that are still assimilated are in stasis. And the dude there, we'll get there in a minute, but 14 years in stasis. That's really interesting. I give him credit for that. That's a good idea. And I mean, I said in my review, if you have the power to do it, but it's like, if you can fix a Borg cube's power supply generator, you've got enough power. That thing is a beast of power. And this is, everyone said this was a prison ship, and I quite quickly said it's not. It can't be, not based on the stuff. And I was right, so yay me. Not rocket science, I don't think, at a certain point. But I love it. It's an institute. It's a research station. And it's so chill. I love the vibe here. It's really interesting. It's just like, scientists, just come and learn. Borg Death Machine. Well, I'm not sure what they're all learning about. Because, I don't know. But
Eugene throws in 200 rubles. Probably the best scene so far, he says. Premier Miller puts in $20. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, sir. That's amazing.
From 2367 to 99. Yeah. Hold on, I'm back. There we go. He says from 2367 to 99, the Federation had 2 Borg attacks: the Klingon War, the Dominion War, and now an attack on Earth itself, solar system itself. Then worlds, even if a few or Minor threatened to leave for presumably the first time, so they panicked and gave up.
Yeah, but the Romulans also helped the Dominion War. Like, we couldn't have won without them. So the last thing that happened is they helped us win. So public opinion would be, yay, Romulans.
Yeah.
That's the last thing that happened in the biggest war of our time. It's just... Oh...
Ryan Cleary puts in $2 and says, "Why do Vulcaneers like Elf? Hope they don't ruin Worf." Well, they've already shown Worf, kind of. And yeah, I have faith they won't ruin Worf if they do bring him in.
I mean, I have no problem with the ears. I mean, it's not like
Oh,
the
they look
best.
fine.
Yeah, I mean... the dude looks worse. The actual elf guy looks worse. But these guys I have no problem with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ryan Cleary, again, $2. I mean Romulan and Vulcan. Okay.
Yeah. And then we get the hot...
We're not done yet. We have another super chat.
Okay, sorry.
Ventress55 puts in £5.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Chances that the drones will go active later in the series and we'll have a 28 days later situation. That'd be kind of neat, actually. Maybe that's one of the reasons that Q and Picard and her are running down a hallway. It looks like it's on the Borg ship. Maybe they're trying to get off because something like that happened. Yeah.
I mean, I can certainly see... We'll get into that in a second, but yeah, if they come out of stasis, then they might go haywire. I would certainly like to see Borg drones being Borg drones rather than just X drones. It would help the contrast seem more. Because then if you shoot if you're getting to know like 10 drones that are actually saved, and then you start shooting drones that are not saved, you're now thinking, well, we could have saved them. They're actually killing people rather than drones. But they're not part of the collective anymore, therefore they're not going to be that same automaton. I mean, Hugh didn't submit a jack shit, But obviously that was ultra early Borg, so that's, not really representative of what they would or wouldn't do. But then, these new friends...
Then we have more super chats.
Okay.
Jad Hindi puts in $6.99 Canadian. 150 worlds in the Federation, not thousands, according to Picard in First Contact. 14 worlds is almost 10%. That's a lot to consider for Starfleet.
Well, in Insurrection, they actively say they're desperately trying to get new member worlds, and they signed lots for the Dominion War. So, plus it's been 15 years after that, so add at least another 15 or 20. So, close to 200, and then less than 10%. I mean, does 10% of the population determine the deaths of 900 million? I think 10% is still a severe minority. I mean, you can't rule the population. If 10% decide the world, then that's not democracy in any way. And the Federation is a big... So no, I mean, even 10% is still a heavy minority. I mean, they don't decide the rest. That's not how things should work. Especially since they were wrong, so...
T-Berg Sci-Fi Fan puts in $5 Canadian.
Thank you.
There is theory this cube was the one that chased Voyager home.
Well, that was a sphere, so I doubt it. And it got blown up.
Yeah.
That would be impressive, though, if it was.
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $1.99.
Thank you.
That Trill Doctor's name, though, what was that? Oh, God. Her name... Her name is Dr. Nashala Kunamakatakavasky. Wow. Yeah, it's a ridiculously long name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. There it is.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, of Trill Polytech. I can say that part.
Nice. Okay, cool. So now they say I've never met a hot Romulan before, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, I know, right? It's like, really? But then we get this lady's uniform, and I really like the Romulan uniform here. I'm glad they approached her taking with some of the stuff. Cause I dig this. Well, he's using the same rifle, so it's not a stealth rifle because everyone's using them. So, bad design for the rifle, awesome design for the costume. Good job with that. And then the dude Narek, is that his name?
Yes.
Hey, I remember his name finally. Narek and Soji have a chat. That kind of feels a bit random. Like he walks sideways through a line of people and stops them. Like only the boss could do that because it's so unorganic. Imagine if you were in immigration and then someone walked up and then stopped a queue. It's like, they're so chill about it. And they have this and then we get the forced exposition where the other is like, oh, but do you think the Borg are going to come back and collect the collective people?
Yeah.
But it's tremendous dialogue, though, because they explain, no, there is still the Borg collective. It's out there.
Yeah.
And when a cube has systems failure to this extent...
when it undergoes submatrix collapse, the collective immediately severs its link.
Yeah, that. Wish they'd said like the vinculum turned off or something like even more voidery. But what I love about this situation is that the Borg have maybe hundreds of thousands of cubes, right? And they don't care about one going offline. It's not a big deal, really. But one random cube to this part of the quadrant, they're like, it's the artifact. The Borg will all come together. You know what I mean? It's this big thing, but it's just one random cube that means nothing. I love the contextual shift there. Like, it's still effing impressive. They didn't diminish the power of a cube or the idea of a cube. So I really like that. I thought that was a good touch. And the collective's still there, which means you can still see him again. They won't show an endgame. I said they weren't going to. But also nullifies they can reactivate them. So I thought it was a really, good. So I wanted to hear stuff. And Andorians. Lots of Andorians. And Stuart, that is definitely just a TOS or Enterprise Andorian. No random face bidabib. That's just an Andorian. And I didn't even notice it. That's a perfect Andorian. Stuart, can we get a round of applause for perfect Andorian?
Yay, good job, guys.
Good job. And how much cheaper was it than Discovery?
Fleet Pass Swiftback put in $9.99. Wow, we did it. 300 likes.
That's so kind.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And Charles Klimushin.
Hi, Charles.
$4.99.
Oh, thank you.
Found you guys via Anti-Trekkers recommendations. Great content. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anti-Trekker is good. If you guys haven't seen Anti-Trekker, go check out Anti-Trekker.
Yeah, do go and look at our old content. If you love Star Trek ships, that is our thing. Hundreds of videos. Go back and have a look. Plus, on Discovery and Picard and all those things as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Trek is good.
All right, so I love how they make a point too that this is just a graveyard now.
Yep.
What does that make us? Well, same as you find in any graveyard. Some have come to feed on the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Some are ghosts, and a few, like you, Dr. Asha, have pinned their hopes on resurrection.
He really impressed me in this episode.
Yeah.
He has layers. He's like Shrek.
Yes, he's an onion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jason Bullock puts in $2. The Borg are self-respected and feared.
Yes.
Are still respected, self-respected.
Yeah, super important. Super important. And I can honestly see them being a villain in like season 3. Maybe like reactivate something, they come back and blah blah blah. No, it's great. Yeah. And then you get all my favourite little beats where he's like, can I come watch? And she's like, I mean, I may have banged you 2 hours ago, but the rules are still the rules. And you can't, check with the organizer of the entire group. And he's like, I mean, I don't have to at all, actually. Because it's me! Okay, maybe not that end bit. Still back in a second. But I love the subtlety of that. It's just like, either he's been put in charge, or he's one of the ruling council of it's all secret stuff, but he's clearly now one of the guys in charge. I love that.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't think he's in charge. He's just special forces, essentially. He can do whatever he needs to do.
Yeah, he's like a top tier person in this facility. Like, if there's a chain of command, he's like a top tier.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to ask permission for anything. Yeah.
And now, next scene. Oh. There's your city in the background that you were hoping for.
Yeah. I saw it. I put it in the edit. It's really subtle, but at least they put money to doing it. Bit underwhelming, I'll be honest. But it's there. Cool. Thanks.
Give them credit for...
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, and then, the lady comes and sees him from the Daystrom Institute, and she's looking at The Complete Robot by Isaac Asimov, and he's like, you like the classics. I never really cared for science fiction.
Nose. Yeah. That was a sad line.
Just don't get it.
That was a sad line.
Don't get it.
Problem is, though, is that in his world, what even counts as science fiction when you can go to space and see things? Because he just lives in science reality.
Well, anything in the past that was science fiction would still be science fiction.
Yes. I suppose.
Yes, got a PayPal. Timothy says, I assume it was 14 homeworlds and their colonies threatening to leave, and that's certainly a significant loss for the Federation. I don't like the 150 planets Picard referred to meant every little colony and research outpost, mining colony. It's conceivable that United Federation Planets leadership was worried about the snowball effect if they ignored those worlds. Still, I agree that opinions on the Romulans would be positive after the Dominion War, so there wouldn't be any backlash to helping them. I could buy it if the Federation were facing its own disaster of the same scale as the Romulans, and Starfleet was neglecting the lives of its own citizens as a result and helping the Romulans. But since they never explain that, I don't buy opposition to helping Romulans just because they used to be the enemies.
And only to 5 worlds. The original member 5. Well, 150 worlds don't mean and little colonies. They mean actual worlds. I assume, like, a random mining outpost isn't appealing to be members of the Federation. It's like if one member world applies and they happen to have 4 solar systems, like, that counts as that society. So that's kind of, it's not literally 150 worlds. It's hundreds of worlds. They say that hundreds of worlds, but member societies. You know, Andoria has more than just one planet. Whatever. Like Vulcan is a, yeah. So it's really hard to tell. I mean, it could be member 15 or whatever, or least important. They didn't get enough information, but it's just not strong enough an argument as it is. But yes, back at the place, more exposition, more the same lines again. This was kind of a bit of a not redundant, but it wasn't the most exciting moment in the episode. But it was okay.
Oh, you learned some stuff though. Like Dodge is only basically 3 years old. That's when her history kind of starts. So she was implanted with these false memories, thinking she grew up in Seattle and all that jazz.
I like that.
So, yeah, it's a pretty good scene actually. It was very boring, but it was enough information here that made it worthwhile, I guess. So.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like this actress more now, but this was, you know, and the Earl Grey joke was, that's like 3 in 2 episodes. You didn't need it. That was not. That
At least he gave her the choice. He didn't give Dodge a choice. He goes, "Here's Earl Grey." At least he said to her, "You have a selection."
But he had the first Earl Grey at the Replicator, then Dodge Earl Grey, then this. This should have been the only one. Or, you know, he asked it just, you know, 3 times. It's just like, look, that's his one thing. That was too much. But yeah, 3 years thing was really interesting. Giving the information's fine. Yeah, and then we get another great scene, the Borg extraction, and I called it that they're extracting Borg pieces to sell to get profit, and that could be any, you know, it's not money obviously, but it's whatever. And yeah, technology, but in the guise also saving them. But everyone knows, like, it's a win-win. We save them, we get to use their tech and use them for profit. So exactly as I thought, and it's not as graphic or as violent as it could have been. It was very surgical. You know, they weren't trying to hurt them, and I really appreciate the makeup on the dude's eye. It was graphic enough. I thought that was really good, and I hope we can see more that graphic, because it helps to reiterate the darkness that's doing to somebody. Ugh, it's not nice. But yeah, I thought it was a really good scene, actually. I thought it was better than I thought they were going to do. If this was Discovery, they'd have been like hacksawing off pieces, saying, "Oh, we can't save him." Hack. You know, it would have been really bad. But this was relatively tastefully done, considering. What do you think?
I thought it was fine. And the Romulan, she calls them the Nameless, and that gets Soji upset. You know, I hate it when you call them that. Just, you know, the species had a name. We just don't know what it was. And then Roman's like, well, Nameless is a name. So, but yeah, I seemed fairly realistic, though, taking the arm off and then the ocular thing, and it's like, oh, you're fine now. Interlink transceiver node confirmed inactive.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you're free now, my friend.
I still don't quite understand how she calmed him down, because I'm sure he's heavily sedated, but whatever.
Eugene puts in 200 rubles. That was very specific Asimov book, not Foundation, not Lucky Star, but almost all of his works on robots. Gosh, so on the nose. Yes.
Yeah, it was a lazy reference. But then again, also she is the robotist, so she would go for the one obvious thing, I guess. But it was not smartly written. It was just.
Yeah. And Jeff Jacobs puts in $5. I think Narek is written like a parody drawn cartoon. I love the sci-fi joke because to Picard, sci-fi is current and wrong. Hashtag at least they are trying.
I thought he was interesting.
I like him, personally.
I thought he's playing an interesting game, but you can tell he's got some heart. That he's not really cut out for this. That he was drafted because his family was. He's an unwanting to be part of this, but it's his thing, and he'll They even said at the end he's prone to what's the word? Basically unexpected things, and the Romans like expected things. So he's a loose cannon, but he's family. I thought he's been, like I said, I didn't like him first episode because he was forced. This I thought he had good stuff, and the Romulans are prone to dramatics, and yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Then we get Stuart. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Da 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 da. Except
I have one too.
Yeah, proper nice resin. So yours is metal. That's okay. Well, it's funny because your one's probably more appropriate now because he like activates it in his palm and it makes a metal noise. Steps on and then there's this really like kind of shit glue. Like you know exactly what a communicator sounds like. Why the hell have you replaced it with a metal clunky techno sound? It sounds out of place. I
didn't
hated
even
that.
notice that.
Yeah, watch it back. It's like we know what a communicator sounds like. Literally hundreds of times the exact one has been activated and they replace it with a really clunky...
Maybe the battery's almost dying, so it's a different sound.
I love you so much. It's great, I love that. And then, the thing that you had a pet peeve with, although I love... Well, before you do that, I love that this is the one that he remembers, because he should have, if it's smart, he should have kept his future one, which is an in-between one maybe, but this is like... You know, he probably, I guess he ended with this one, didn't he? So ignore me. I would have edited that out if it wasn't live. Ignore me. Right, what's your pet peeve first, Joe?
Well, he taps it, and we speculated about this early on when we saw him with it in the trailer. Like, would it still be active? We could still talk to people with it, but I guess you can. Puts it on, hits it, and says, really quick, Raffi, it's Jean-Luc. Please don't hang up.
Would it be great if she said, Jean-Luc, I'm in the shower. Oh, I'm sorry.
She should have been like, beep, beep, beep. It's busy, or please leave a message for Raffi after the beep.
Because what time zone is she in? He doesn't know. He hasn't thought about this.
I'm sure he knows exactly where she is, but yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even hear him say Raffi. I just thought he was communicating to the doctor. Honestly. But what does he say, Stuart? What's the weird thing that doesn't feel quite right?
Well, he says it's Raffi, it's Jean-Luc. Please don't hang up.
Please
and it says, I need your help.
Hang up.
I need a ship. But yeah, don't hang up. That's not even something that we really say now. Like my kids wouldn't really necessarily say. More like disconnect the call or end the call. So for them to be still using the vernacular hang up in the future, it's a little off.
That may be beyond my abilities at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Good job, Siri.
Because also, I mean, you can, like, the message will still go, I don't know. It feels weird. But whatever.
And Mole says, so now comm badges are galaxy-wide. No, she's on Earth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that, you know, it just connects wirelessly to the network. I mean, it's just a communicator. You know, I mean, it's not the end of the world. But, hey, at least he didn't go to, like, a pad and go... Like, he actually went to a communicator. Like, at least he went to the correct mechanical communication device. You know?
Yeah.
But also, I'm sure that his one still has... Like, there are still Starfleet issues, so I'm sure this can't necessarily communicate with every civilian. Or, like, this is slightly more secure. Isn't that cool? I can just hold it up. That's cool. So it's a more secure form of communication. But at least it went to that, and it's a great little moment. I dig it. Back to Starfleet. And we get introduced to Miss Commodore, either Vulcan or Romulan. Stuart thinks Romulan, because the Vulcan symbol is a tell that she's definitely Romulan. My thought was Vulcan, because she acts like a Vulcan, and they say something later on that gives it away.
No, she's Romulan. She doesn't act at all Vulcan.
I
Not at
disagree
all.
100%. Okay. Well, we'll see, guys. Well,
Okay.
what happens? What happens, Stuart?
I don't know. She's talking to Admiral Clancy, or CNC Clancy, whatever the hell she is. They're talking about Picard and Maddox, and how basically it's sad and pathetic that Picard showed up. And when she says Maddox, the Commodore's like, "Oh, is he still alive?" I don't think it even matters. It was so pathetic seeing Picard come in here and talk about this. It's like two girls, like, gossiping to each other. And I kind of feel bad for the Admiral at this point. She has no goddamn clue what the hell is going on. She is just doing her job and doesn't understand that what's going on behind the scenes here, which is fine. She's definitely kind of stuck in the middle of this whole situation, and I just kind of feel bad for her, even though she's a bitch. I don't know.
Yeah, this scene is much better on rewatch. Knowing she's a spy or a negative force, these scenes play out a lot better. Because I was watching it and thinking, "Oh, which way is it going to be?" So this episode's better on second watch. I think it definitely improves. And I know this actress from many other things. She's quite a good character actress. She was in Babylon 5, she was in Stargate, so I know her face. Although they did a good job changing her face. The hair's different, the ears. Like, she feels a unique version of herself. Good job. And I really like her balanced Vulcan acting. There's a sense of security, but passion. Like, she's very much in control. She's obviously like one of the higher up Commodores. And the fact that she says, to the Admiral, well, the head of everything Admiral, hey, if there were Romulans on Earth, I would know, and then you would know, and then everyone would know. I would know if I'm your eyes and ears, Admiral. You're just pencil pusher. So I thought the vibe together was very interesting and strong, and yeah, I liked her a lot, actually.
I hated absolutely everything about her.
Oh.
I prefer the Clancy to this bitch. I just don't like her.
Well, I like her because she's actually a villain. The other one is a bad admiral. This one's actually a villain, and she's actually a manipulator. She's actually playing this long game. I wouldn't be surprised if she used the Romulans to give her power like the Duras, because that would be a fun thing. The Romulans helped the Duras get power. The Romulans helped her get power. What better way of becoming head of Starfleet Security, a Commodore of Starfleet Security, than Romulans giving you Tal Shiar secret information on your enemies? That's great. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Eugene, 250 rubles, though. Going to call it now. These obvious villains are fake villains. The real villain will be some Starfleet person, maybe Maddox.
Well, she's Starfleet.
We've kind of said that. I've kind of said I think Maddox might, at some way, be a villain as well. But
I wouldn't say that. But this one is the Starfleet villain. So, she's the actual corrupt cop of it. But then we get the tea scene. You bloody fool.
Oh yeah. You'll need Tal Shiar to go with you. Yeah, you'll need us to go with you, idiot.
That's great. Yeah.
And then you're more worried about the wine harvest. Stay here, protect the grapes. They're in greater danger than I am.
Yeah. But you need Tal Shiar to protect Tal Shiar, and that's a useful thing. No, it's good. The good scene.
And then he says, why don't you talk to Riker or Geordi or Worf? And I'm like, yes, Geordi's alive.
Yes.
That's all I was kind of concerned about.
He calls him LaForge. Like, he pronounces his name wrong. I guess he could be a French Romulan, but it's LaForge, not LaForge. But he's probably not a Star Trek fan, so what does he know? He's got Worf, right? And Picard explains, I've thought about that. I could ask them; they would stop what they're doing and help me, and that's why I can't, because I can't let them be in harm's way too. Which I'm guessing is mostly at this point because they all have families. It's less so much that they could die, because anyone could die, or they could, he's stronger with them. But the Rikers have a family, and I'm sure Geordie's with, like all good things, with Leah Brahms. They have the 3 kids. Like, these people are family people.
It was with Aaliyah. They never clarified Leah Brahms. She was married before that, so who knows? But anyway.
Yeah.
I doubt very much that Geordie's with a woman.
Oh, rude, mean.
Love this scene. Take that one with you. What? Did I cut out?
Oh, yeah, but I'm just listening.
What did I cut out at?
Oh, he didn't think Jordy would be with a woman. I was like, oh.
Oh, because it's Jordy.
Yeah, but,
But then we got a super chat of Fleet Paw Swiftback of $1.99. Love this scene. Take that one with you. You can die together.
But this is where I realized she was Irish. I didn't hear the accent until this scene. I'm like, that is really weird. Great character, wrong accent choice / too much. Should toned down by like 25%.
Well, just the actress, I think.
That's what I mean. But you can hide accents. Like you can not go full. You know. Next scene, we have subterfuge. We have the lens flares of J.J. Abrams. He clearly came into this down set and said, every light needs to be a lens flare. All of them. Because nothing says subtle secret meeting than the camera being filled with light in every single shot, almost. What a bad directorial decision to have lens flares all the time. It's really obnoxious here. It really pulls you out of the scene, in my opinion. What do you think?
Didn't bother me. It's a nice, bright lit room with a lot of windows, and it's obviously the middle of the day, so it didn't bother me. I didn't really even notice it the first time.
Okay.
But I love how they subvert your expectations here a little bit, because this lieutenant walks in and the Commodore's like, does that look like disruptor fire? There, reflected in that handrail. Like she's actually investigating this thing that happened on the rooftop. And it doesn't look like it to me. And then it's like, oh, wow. And then we find out that, your team messed up. You killed it. You killed the thing before we had a chance to interrogate it. You almost blew our cover.
Dumb.
Yeah.
But then you realise, oh, no, wait, I recognise that woman. She was on the trailer as a Romulan. Oh. Like, they already showed her, so it's not, But yeah, I mean, you talk about quick and easy reveals. I mean, this was like, here's a reveal. Dun-dun-dun. It's good. I liked it. And this is the scene I referred to when I review this. I talked about this with someone else. I said that this scene to me is 100 times better than either of the action scenes in episode 1. I'd rather this than that. That, I scroll through, don't care, means very little, it's more expensive. This scene is good. I want this, I don't want that. This adds something that does not. So, good scene, well acted, and it's better on second watch because you're seeing their power play. And it kind of shifts a bit from the Jatvas agent to the Admiral, because obviously we're waiting there for a long time. They say in a later scene, sorry, Commodore, yeah. They say in a later scene, we've been allies with her for a long time, we can't lose her. So this has probably been a decade or something. She's their biggest ally in the Federation. But at the same time, I'm the Jatvash agent. I mean, I could kill you. I'm doing the job you can't do. So I love the little power plays. But the Commodore's still sort of calling the shots, but she's obviously got the access to Earth, so she controls the Earth stuff because she knows what she can and can't get away with. So I like this scene.
Major Diarrhea, love the name. I think they revealed the Romulan plot too easily. No effort. I think that's good though, because there's going to be more twists and things down the road. Yep. If they had waited and held off on this for a few episodes, I would have been like, for Christ's sakes, I saw this coming. I love that they did it this way. Because,
it says there's more to come. This is the least important stuff.
Yeah.
And that's like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Yeah. And like I say, now we know these people are these people. Every scene we see them with enhances, when you see the Commodore go to the Andorian Admiral, we know, there's something there. You know what I mean? So I think, it actually worked a lot. Without burning through content a bit here. We'll see what happens.
Well, Q1 NNC puts in euros.
Thank you.
Maybe the Universal Communicated Commish added the Irish accent. The Universal Translator did that. Yep.
Yeah.
And Jarzia throws in $2 Canadian. The whole galaxy will see the lens flare if Q shows up.
Yeah.
And then next scene, Picard takes a Discovery era shuttle taxi to his friend's house.
No, he didn't.
Raffi.
It's fine. So retcon out. He didn't. It's fine.
Oh, it's a TOS Type F shuttle because they're newer than these.
No, it's an X1 shuttle pod, Stuart.
Might as well be. I'd be happier seeing those fly around. honest with you. But
no, sorry, Stuart. It's a Type 15 brand new shuttle Delta Flyer. Delta
it's
Flyer.
an F4. It's an F-14.
Oh, it's the Delta Flyer. Can't you see 7 of 9? She's a taxi person. It's the Delta Flyer with Harry Kim of Definitely Alternate Universe. Oh, it's a Malon shuttle, Stuart. No, who cares? But Stuart, why didn't he beam? Why the hell are there Why is he taxied? Why is he taxied so far? They just beamed for 9 locations. Why is he taxiing? What a stupid I'm assuming she has transport inhibitors.
That's what I'm thinking, because she's in the middle of nowhere. She's at Vasquez Rocks, guys, because Vasquez Rocks has to appear in all Star Trek. We've been there.
I literally know the route we walked up.
Yep,
right.
We were right on that spot.
Right there.
Yeah.
But it feels so weird to see a taxi. And again, such a waste of money. Just have him beam outside the transport inhibitor radius. Is that even legal on Earth to have a transport inhibitor field? I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway,
Felt dumb.
So she walks out and says, "I don't want anything to do. Nothing you can say will change my mind." He's like, turns around. Well, Romulan agents working on Earth. And she's like, "Is that the 86?" Because he brought the wine with him, and it's like, "Yep." So
chucks her current drink and is like, "Yep, that's the good shit."
I expected more of these two in this episode, but it was right near the end. Next episode is going to have a lot of their conversation for sure. So, anyway.
No, absolutely. This was very much a next episode. These will be the people. I think now we're zoning away from. We got the Romulans start. That was their 2 episodes. This next one's going to be her episode and the crew. I think we're now transitioning. Yeah. And guys, can I just say, 428 people watching. I mean, thank you for joining. We appreciate it. Really, really. Do click like. 332. I'd love to see 350. Thanks, guys, for staying. Amazing. Awesome. Please check out all the videos. We do so much.
And Eugene throws in 250 rubles and says, "Jesus, the building's so Mass Effect. Too many Mass Effect feelings. Too many."
That one certainly is, yeah. That one certainly is. But this is okay. I love how obvious the dub is when he turns around. It's such a dub. But why not? You know, I love his cheeky little line. I just wish this had been. I mean, it makes sense to introduce new people because they charge less. But if this had been an Enterprise crew member, it would have meant a lot more. You know, because we don't know about the Verity, and most people are going to read the comics. Apparently, they sold really poorly. So, you know, you know, who it should have been. It should have been his second in command for Enterprise E from the deleted scene. Should have been that guy.
Well, it's
just really obscure guy, but he was there in uniform.
The one thing we got to mention the last thing that we forgot is how it ends, where the Romulan's like, "Well, what you need is somebody that hates you and has nothing to lose."
Oh.
And he's like, "I already made the call." Yeah. So, anyway.
Because the way he says it is like, "Well, I guess someone hates you," and he's like, "No, you're right. I have." He's like, "Oh, I wasn't serious." Well, I did. I did it.
I think the Romulan knew exactly who he was suggesting her. I think he knows all about her.
So I took it as a sort of play, like he's sort of making fun of Picard, but saying you really need this. But yeah, you're right. That's a good line. He stands out. I love his subdued acting. He's so effing Vulcan, but he's a Romulan. It's so confusing, but he does it so well.
Yep. And Jason Bullock throws in $2 Canadian.
Thank you.
It's a late 21st century mobile home. Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And Josso1. Guys, you notice the Andorians walking around in the corridors. Yes, we already gave them big props. Good for them. Brilliant stuff.
So that's a quick scene, but it's going to pay off next episode. And then we get the last scene of the episode, and that's where she goes and talks to her baby brother, who's Narek.
Through 3D holograms, Stuart, they now have intergalactic 3D holograms. Through the shields of Borg Cube.
I'm fine with that. And take a look at her rank pips here in this scene, because they're magnetic, so they're actually sticking together in some of the scenes.
There you go, yep. Can you see it,
so
guys?
It's a little bit of a visual error, but that's okay.
Well, Discovery Shuttle's rank pips wrong. Happens.
Yeah.
And I will say, for some reason, I like the look of the uniform better in this scene. Hers is fitted so well and so crisp.
She's in it, and she's, you know.
Yeah. She looks good in it. I give her credit for that. And this is the reveal of Baby Brother is a great little moment, and their chemistry is good, and again, it deepens him a lot more. And I know people were complaining, even someone just Facebook me saying, I hate the scene because they're melodramatic, they're cartoon villains. Thing is, they're Romulans.
They're Romulans.
And they're
exactly.
siblings. And they're ultra mega ultra secret Romulans. I mean, you start adding layers of this. It's not just people. You know what I mean? It's a very special. So I had no problem with it. You know, I enjoyed the scene. I was hurt. This was the last scene. I was like, God damn. You know, 'cause it ends on just sort of an end. There's no resolution. There's no vibe. It's just a no. Come on.
Well, I love how, you know, he's like, I'm doing the plan that you approved. I'm on top of things, and she looks at the bed that's all disheveled, and she's like, I can see that.
How many times this morning were you on top of things, baby brother?
Right? I've been on top of things since I got here. Sometimes behind things. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes pegged by things. I mean...
Whoa.
Although it's funny that she... Isn't it weird that he, like... If he's one of the leaders of the group, to take her to his quarters, because I thought they were her quarters, because she's just a random person.
I think they were her quarters the first time. This is his quarters, though.
Oh, so they had pre-work sex and post-work sex is what you're saying.
Probably.
Jesus.
That new relationship vibe. Q1 NNC, €5. The best line was the Romulans. This was the most feared weapon in the galaxy. Oh, and it's Quincy, by the way. Oh, that's how you say it. Quincy. Thank you, Quincy. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no, I really liked the respect to canon here, and Thribis has the best point ever. Seela is the mother.
Ooh.
Damn, that's good. I love that. It's so good.
I can see that.
I can see that as well. Damn, that's brilliant. I mean, wouldn't that be a great reveal? They fly to Romulus. And then they beam in, and there's a person behind a desk. They say, "We're back, mother." And she turns, and it's just Denise Crosby. And it's like, oh! Perfect, yeah. Love it. Or Denatra. Although she was too nice. How would be the, well, he's probably a lot old now. The Romulan that was, that killed Sloane, or not killed Sloane. Be that guy. Or it's a fake guy. He's back from the dead. He was... I wasn't dead!
Eugene throws in 250 rubles.
Sorry, everyone,
this is a hologram, but it's way closer to TNG photonics and not those blue glowy Star Wars ones. I love the point when he's talking to her and he like walks like right through her, like to prove a point. I thought that was really well done. And then later she walks around him. I just would have power played him back and walked through him as a hologram personally. But anyway, it was an interesting scene.
I mean, just better done than Discovery. I mean, and because I took it as this is... Well, actually, if you recall, Janeway was hologram recreated in... Yeah, because it's not... Because it's not the same... Because they actually have holoprojectors in this universe, not Discovery. So it's just a holo signal. It's like not... Whatever. No, this I can see being, you know, Borg tech enhanced. Because wouldn't that have been a nice reveal if it was this perfect that she could walk around? If this was an advancement because of Borg tech, that would have been great. If this was a big like, she can walk around, but you know, Discovery, so who cares? Yeah, it's good, and then it just kind of ends.
Avi, you're a fake.
Yeah, just kind of ends.
Yeah, the ending was kind of sudden, wasn't it?
Yeah. It needed an extra 10 minutes of different story. Not sure where or how. But I mean, like I said, I walked out this one thinking I enjoyed this one a lot more. I have no idea what I gave the last one. I can't remember at all what I gave point-wise. But this had so much more interesting stuff, so much more canon, so much more revelation. I now like all the characters more. They fleshed them out a ton. I guess I'm going to do my final thoughts first, because I guess I jumped into that. The first scene was great. The android was perfectly pitched. Good respect to canon and new. I like both Commodore Admiral, but for different reasons. Picard was a lot better acting. But also, think about it. He was rusty. He hasn't played Picard in decades. And so, you know, it tends to take about 2 weeks to shoot an episode, or a week if you're doing it quickly. And so, you know, he's cobwebs have come off. So I think he was better. And just mentally,
feels like
he was
Picard again.
Yeah. proactive Patrick Stewart is so much better than static and what? Who are you? What? So a lot of my things about last week were fixed in this one. And I'm even more intrigued. And the Borg didn't mess up the Borg. I give more credit. They did the Borg properly. And that's early days, obviously. But I enjoyed this one, and I'll let you give your thoughts on the middle review scores. And guys, this is now your chance to super chat, as people are doing already. Super chat your review scores out of 10 and your final closing sentences. We've had a great live today, but if we can get on $50, that would just icing on the cake, guys. So if you want to put your $5 what you think review, go, and then we'll. People are starting to do that. So yeah, put them down.
Before I do mine, I'll read some super chats though.
Okay.
Thribs, £2. Shinjan uses the same holographic comms in Nemesis.
Dude, yeah. Wow.
And
well counted. See, it's Romulan. It's Romulan. Specialist Romulan. Perfect.
Quincy puts in €10.
Oh, dude.
I want to see a scene with Ambassador Worf. A lackey comes in to say something is up with the Federation and Romulus. Worf hears it. Picard says, mobilize the fleets. Then we have greatness.
And then you hear da 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 da, and it cuts to exterior and you see two birds of prey. Da 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 da. There you go. Scene's written.
FlowX831 puts in $10.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm loving the show thus far. I love how they are taking the time to build up the story, and I'm always looking forward to these live streams. Thank you guys. Well, thank you, FlowX. We're glad you appreciate them.
We do try. Fair, balanced. And I mean, I'm saying, we are certainly criticizing the bad points. I don't think anyone can say we're being shills or overly biased. There are very, very bad bits, like the Replicator, and there are really good bits. So I think we're being very fair. And I kind of disagree. They're taking their time to build. They're rushing through a ton of story.
They are.
They're being slow with some stuff and just burning through content with other stuff. So it's a very interesting mixed bag.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to the next two super chats after I say my piece and give you my score, because they're scored ones.
And because last week I felt guilty for not liking as much as you did. You shouldn't feel that about my thing. But do you like it any more after this review? After now going through it with me and talking about it, any different feelings, I should say?
Not really.
Right.
It didn't drag so much in spots. It was just not as engaging for me as last week's for some reason. I don't know. Like I said, I don't like the spy movie kind of feel a lot of times. So. Yeah. That bugged me a little bit, but I mean the acting was really good in this one. Writing was good. Exposition was dumped heavily, but it was really important, I think. And the way it was done was it was natural. Didn't feel forced, really.
I think the exposition was either heavy-handed or really well done. There wasn't really, wasn't. Yeah.
I didn't think it was too heavy-handed at
but
all.
There's one scene where it is. You know what I mean? It's there's oh, and then
Yeah. But no, it was great seeing more of the two Romulans that help out Picard. The knowing that Picard's not crazy is always a good thing.
Yep.
Finding out that Starfleet has real resentment towards Picard, or at least the CNC does.
Yes.
Clancy. Got to find out more about that. But that was a really well done scene in my opinion. I enjoyed that scene. Patrick's acting in that was fantastic.
Yes.
And then, even though the CNC seems like she's in charge and kind of lauding over Picard, then the next time you see her, she's basically looking like an idiot because. Yep. So it's kind of, I don't know, it worked out.
And let me jump on that as well for a second. That you're right. She suddenly goes from being this very venomous character to like, oh, he's an idiot. Because she's just punishing him personally.
Yeah.
And as soon as you leave that, she's not actually a villain. So, the juxtaposition there was really quite well done. You're absolutely all right.
Yeah. So the stuff on the Borg cube was great. There's a lot of great elements to this one. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I feel it's not as good as the first one for me personally. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. So as for a score for me, I'm going to give it originally I was going to say 6. I was thinking 6. I was thinking 6 for most of yesterday.
Wow.
But I'm going to bump that up to a 7. I think it sits at a good 7 for me.
Wow. Okay.
Hopefully there'll be better episodes. You know me, I like more of the action, more of the space stuff. That kind of stuff is more my alley. So, yeah.
Do you remember what you gave last week?
I don't.
Maybe 8.5 because you were pretty high. I think I gave it a 7. You an 8.5. I think.
I think it was 8.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a 7. You say?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 I'll give this one 8.5. Honestly, we kind of swapped. Much better in my regard. Yeah. I already said why. So yeah, 8.5. There's a few like they fucked up problems with art design and stuff, like big mistakes. There's a few things they could have done better, but I mean, this is so much better than Discovery. You know, better writing makes a difference. Yeah.
Let's get some of these super chats. Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $1.99. 6 out of 10. Could have been better, but wasn't terrible.
Okay. Yeah.
True Dander, £2. Have we seen a Commodore before? Loved it. 10 out of 10. We've seen a Commodore in TOS a few times.
Mm-hmm. But they are back for the first time since TOS, I believe.
Yes.
Which is cool. Good for them.
I think there might have been one in the movies.
Oh, Decker. Commodore. No, that was Decker.
No, that was in TOS, but
maybe.
There's a Colonel West, played by Odo.
The random guy that came from nowhere.
Was weird to have a colonel in Starfleet, but
yeah. Let me Google that, Stuart, so we can be. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
where are we here? Jarzia, $5, 6.5 out of 10. Not as good as the first one, but still some good moments. I want to get off Earth though. Laris' scene was my favorite in the episode. Yeah, idiots. Ronald Anderson gives $10 with no comment, but thank you very much, Ronald.
Thank you.
Caleb Horn, $5. Episode 8 out of 10. Loris, 10 out of 10. Picard, 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Rowan Fahey, €3. Cheeky feckers is Irish Romulan as it gets.
Yeah.
Eugene, 750 rubles. Still a question mark out of 10. Better parts of the episode are the ones without Picard. Characters have layers and some sense of consistency. Picard's are either lazy or either jumpy, lazy, forced, or cheaply written. It feels as bad parts of Discovery galore. It seems kind of harsh.
I mean, the Picard scenes weren't the best scenes, except maybe the Admiral one. So maybe. But I think that's because the other scenes are pretty good, and they're more interesting. We'll see.
Yeah. Squadra Course, $2.99. Not perfect, but in my honest opinion, this feels like Star Trek.
Close to me for sure. Like way more than last week. I was way more in the zone in this one.
Yeah. And Eugene, 250 rubles. P.S. A lot of me feels.
Mass Effect.
A lot of me. Oh, Mass Effect feels too distracting. I didn't get that because I never.
And yeah, the mobile home certainly, definitely.
Because the windows.
Okay, let me read some non-super chats because we've got a lot of those. But thank you guys. And if you want to do super chat, because Stuart, you're here to see the captain's reactions, really, aren't you? So if you want him to read your thing, look at his face. Look at his sexy face. Thribis, 6 out of 10. Ocean, 7 out of 10. Zachary Gibbons, 6.5 out of 10. Trent Bennett, 8. Becky Schultz, 7. Forrest, 8. 4 out of 10 from Mole. Avenue Pad, 8.5. Zerexis 2005, 8.5. Colin Barrett, 9 out of 10. Mr. Robert Wolves, 8 out of 10. Max Volume, 7.5. Aussie Medoas, 10 out of 10. And 10 out of 10 for us, too. So, yay us. Interesting. Kevin Tipcorn says 8 out of 10 on the Discovery scale. And 6 out of 10 for Trek in general. Interesting. Jeff Jacobs, 8 out of 10. Fleetpool Swiftback, 5 out of 10. Brian Kenson, 7 out of 10. Hot Chick Score, 1 out of 10. Mark Henson, 8.9 out of 10. And Mole says 10 out of 10 for Trekyards. I'll jump back to you.
Tony Sussex puts in $25. Thank you very much.
Wow, dude. That's amazing. Thank you.
Hey guys, new job, so I miss most live chats, but recently drove across the U.S. and had your TNG recap reviews on the whole way. I love New Trek, but I wish I was a bit more optimistic. or was it more optimistic? Looking forward to more Picard and even more Trekyards vids. Cheers. Thank you, Tony. Very appreciated.
I mean, certainly a drive across the US. How many episodes have we done? Like 35 times 2 hours. That's that probably burned through quite a lot of a journey. Hey, dude, thank you, and you're welcome, and we hope you keep enjoying. And good luck with the job. Kick ass.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant.
Quincy, €2. Captain, say Alexa, computer, make it so. All right, Alexa. Computer, make it so.
Aye, Captain.
There you go. I like that. Alexa, red alert. I don't have my volume very loud, but that's okay.
No, you can hear it. You can hear it.
Alexa, stop. Hold on. Before we finish. Alexa, tell me a Star Trek joke.
To email a photo to a Jedi.
No, that's not it.
Because attachments are forbidden.
Oh my god. It did Star Wars. Alexa, tell me a Star Trek joke.
Why did Captain Picard get a new smartphone contract? He needed more data on his Android.
That's so apt.
It's so close to home.
Do you want to say that? If you can remember what it said, do you want to say it out loud? I could hear it, but it might have been quiet for the guys.
Why did Captain Picard get a new smartphone contract? He needed more data on his Android.
That's just... Woo-wee! Alexa, you are not sensitive to social issues right now, are you, Alexa? Jesus. Okay, guys. Well, there you go. That was almost 3 hours. Woo! You guys are amazing. Some big super chats this week. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And then I will challenge the last 350. Who wants to be the final super chat, the winner of this week's episode 2 super chat, forever to be known as the winner of Star Trek Picard episode 2 full review Maps of Legends super chat? I mean, it's up to you to decide who is the winner of that battle, because I can't decide. Only you can decide. Any amount. Who's the winner? I don't know, Stuart.
It'll be that person. I don't know. Just...
and yeah, tune in, guys. We've done a lot of filming for this coming week. We're going to do more filming on Monday. There's plenty of stuff to talk about for sure. A lot of tech stuff, a lot of uniform stuff. I mean, we filmed already. I think you can vouch some good stuff coming this week.
Filmed about 8 episodes today earlier.
7, yeah. Yeah, it was good. Long, but it was good. And very classic Trekyards as well. Ships and costumes and some good stuff.
Fleet Pass Swift back $1.99. Winner, chicken dinner.
Well, we'll do 2 more minutes for the outro. So if anyone wants to sneak underneath, you've got 2 minutes.
My voice is dying, so let's...
But this was fun, Stuart. These I certainly look forward to, because this is a whole thing. But you guys not disappoint. Almost 500 people, wasn't it? Like 450, the max we got.
For people?
Yeah.
I think we got 450. 450 was the last I saw. Yeah, highest.
Brilliant. So yeah, check out our videos every single week. And if you do want to go back to other videos, we do so many. And then tune in for our lives Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, probably. Probably do our predictions on Wednesday. Pick 2 topics for in between. We'll decide those and you'll know later on. Weekend will just be normal videos while you take the weekend off to do real stuff and I'll be editing. And go look at Stuart's first reactions if you want to from yesterday. And Stuart, you also released another video 7 hours ago. Do you want to just quickly pimp that out?
Oh yeah, it's over here.
I think there's an extra minute super chat, guys. Come on, 1 minute.
So today I released a video because I got sent this Star Trek Kirk Fu manual, a guide to Starfleet's most feared martial art. It's actually from Insight Editions. This is not available to the public yet. It is a pre-order. You can pre-order it.
Oh, wow.
But I did a review of the book. So they sent me the book to do a review on.
That's a great picture of him. Like, it doesn't look like him, but it's a great picture of him.
You should see the artwork in this book. Watch my review. Watch the video. Because there's some fantastic stuff in here. It's a really fun little book. And it's written by Dayton Ward, who does a lot of Star Trek novels.
Oh, wow.
So it's a fun book. So yeah, check out the video I released earlier today.
So how many pictures of the disco prizes in it?
Absolutely none.
How many disco versions of the aliens are there?
Absolutely none.
How many time crystals?
Absolutely none.
Perfect. Last super chat, guys. I think he wins. So read it out and we'll go.
Oh, we got another one. Wow. Ronan Fahey. I don't know how to say the last name. Sorry. €2. You cheeky feckers. Aye.
Sounds about right. We'll see you later, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.